Alright, a very good evening, Twitch fans. It's Captain Naps here with you once again, and we are going to be doing something a little different here today. We're going to be doing some night flying, as it were, some evening night flying. I like to do these flights in real time, so that's what we're going to be doing today. It's going to be a night flight. We're going to be enjoying all this beautiful scenery, and we're going to be continuing on with our Pilot's Life saga here, here on my Twitch stream. Today we are going to be doing the next flight here on my schedule, which is Toronto back to Montreal. I've done this turn before. I'm doing it again. That's the life of an airline pilot. The schedule gets repetitive sometimes, especially when you work for a smaller airline that maybe has a limited number of routes. So that's what we're doing today. It's about 272 miles. Should take about an hour to do the flight itself. 30 minutes of prep time as well. So we should hopefully be done in about an hour and a half. And the nice thing about doing this in the evening is we have some awesome ATC online tonight. It's not just a quiet solo flight here on the VATSIM network. We are doing this with full-on ATC. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop in that wonderful Dash 8 and get started here. There we go. Get rid of that GPU noise, and away we go. So I've just powered up the airplane just basically here, but there's not too much going on in here yet. And so we will get the show on the road here. And actually, before I even do this, I just want to have a quick look-see here and see who is online here in Toronto. It looks like we got a ground controller, so he'll be the first frequency we're going to turn into. So I'm going to go ahead and get him up there anyways. That way we can hear what's going on in Toronto here. So bear with me. 2165 is the ground frequency I just found on VATSPy. So hopefully today we'll get some good audio. Hopefully this is not too loud for anybody. And yeah, we'll be able to get underway here. And I'm just going to check a couple of things here because there was one thing that I just realized that may have reset itself. So stand by 1 second. Alright, and we're back again. Yes. So my track IR reset itself. I reset the sim one more time, and my track IR reset itself. So we are, that's a little better. It's a little less crazy swinging around. Alright, so we're here at Gate Charlie 25 in Toronto, getting ready for our flight to Montreal in the Encore Dash 8. So without further ado, get the airplane powered up. We're going to just leap right into the FMS here, and we'll do it the easy way, pull it up here. So our flight today is pretty easy. Toronto to Montreal. There's basically no route. There's a departure. There's an arrival. That's it. So we go menu, depart. And actually one thing I should check before I get too far down this rabbit hole is let's just have a quick little look at the ATIS here in Toronto. So I've just got it pulled up really quickly here. And there it is, information Lima. And let's see here. 090 at 10. Be scattered altimeter 2996. We should set that before we have a chance to forget at all. We'll set it there and there. And departures 5 and 6 left. I would expect 6 left for departure, so that's what we're going to plan on. So that's the main reason why I really wanted the ATIS, was to see what the active departure run was going to be. Bowman 7 off of 6 left. That's not really the accurate transition because 6 left should be the transition. The runway transition should be to MIG-low. And I've had this problem before, and I'm probably going to have it again. So we'll just quickly pull up the Bowman 7 chart here in Toronto. And just confirm a couple of other fixes here. I feel like it's Bowman, Tiget, and MIG-low, but I'm going to check it to be sure. Bowman 7 departure. Let's see here. So after Beaumont, we go no pot, Ticket, and MIG-low. So good thing I checked. We're missing a couple of waypoints in here, so we do have to actually program them in. No pot, and then Ticket, and then after Ticket, what we'll do is we'll do menu arrive because we're doing the arrival into Montreal. what are we going to be landing in Montreal here? Looks like we're probably going to swing around for the 24, so we'll say 24 left here. And we'll make it on the HAPS 4. And sorry guys, I didn't realize you couldn't see the top of that there. There we go. And we'll make this the MIGLO transition with the ILS to runway 24. Let's just check this and make sure that all the waypoints are in there. So Miglet, Rito, with FMOC, RV. Yeah, that's all in there. Okay, that's good. And then there's a vector no link, and then there should be the ILS. So the only thing we need to do is after ticket, we delete the no link, and we end up at MIGLO. And there we go. Then there's the ILS 24, Sloka, that's all in there. Alright, and that's our flight plan. It takes us all the way to Montreal. Our fuel planning today, as always, we turn to SimBrief. SimBrief has always been a reliable source of accurate information. The numbers for the Dash 8 are reasonably accurate, so we're going to continue to carry on with them. Let's see here. Our fuel planning, our final reserve today is going to be 1354. Our alternate requires 1465. Our alternate today is Quebec City. And our extra is going to be 0 for a total reserve of 2819. Our ZFW, and as always, we're going to go to the Majestic Control Panel, read it right off of here. SimBrief has issued me a flight with 70 people. So we're going to go ahead and load that up. 14, let's make that 24. Let's make that 17, I guess. There we go. And cargo, doesn't want us to bring much cargo. 200 pounds of cargo, so. Fuel for this, total planned, including a whole 1,000 pounds of extra, because it's going to be kind of lousy when we get to Montreal. We're looking at about 7,000 pounds, which is really a lot to go to Montreal. Way more than we probably need. But there are some lousier forecasts in the forecast there, so we'll go ahead and load 7,000 pounds, and we're going to need to burn off about 2,200 on the trip. There we go. Send that data to the flight sim, and we're good. Alright, so fuel on board is going to be 7,000 pounds. And our ZFW, I should have read that off there while I had this up. ZFW is going to be 55,325. 55,325. And there we go, our gross is 62.3. And on page 2, we just quickly set the time zone. Daylight savings time has ended. It's 5 hours now. Alright, and while we're at it, let's start doing some things. Let's request some catering services, and let's request some boarding as well, because we need to get this flight underway sooner than later. I'm pretty sure yeah, the jet bridge is all hooked up and everything, so we should be good to board. And yeah, we're basically done with the FMS. All we need to do with the FMS to really finish this here, besides making sure that the gear pins are not installed, is to cross-fill. So flight plan menu, cross-fill flight plan, copy from 1 to 2, and cross-fill fuel as well. There we go. Now we've got both FMSs are set up, and we're ready to just swing into the overhead panel and really quickly get this going here. Alright, so electrical panel, basically everything's on except for the bus fault reset. Ice protection, everything's off. However, we are going to open the bypass doors. Doesn't even look like my window's fogging up for once. Alright, everything's in. These valves are open. APU valves closed just fine. We're not going to use the APU today. Lights we don't need. And we've got all the wonderful cabin lighting turned on, or flight deck lighting turned on. The dome lights on. APU we're not going to use. Engine ignition panel is all set correctly. Landing altitude for Montreal is pretty close to sea level. There we go. 100 and something feet there, so that's set. Lights are all as required. And emergency lights are armed. Fueling appears to be done on there. 7,000 pounds that looks like, so we'll just turn on the seatbelts. No smoking's on. And do a quick little test here. All the lights come on in the flight deck, except for the caution and warning lights. They were already on for different reasons, I guess. But the Christmas tree effect, as I call it, everything's green, red, yellow. And then test the caution warning lights panel. Nothing's burnt out there. That was always very reliable. I found rarely did anything ever burn out there. Lights are on dim. And normally I would say in the real world that's good, but in the sim it's a little bit easier to see it when they're a little brighter. Alright, packs are in auto, bleeds are off. The recirc fan, however, should be on at this point, and the AC generators are all online. That's looking good. And we'll continue to come across here. We'll reset those so they trigger if anything does come up. And we need to open exit 4. Which is the service door, I believe. Catering is here. Yeah, there's the catering van right there. Great. Alright, carrying on. We are going to set our nav source there. And we set the barrow. Oops. Minimum's in Toronto, so what we're going to do is we're going to set 1600. Oop. Ah. In the real world, your mouse doesn't tend to slip, so whatever knob you're grabbing tend to stick to it. But especially with track IR, you can slip ever so slightly, ever so easily. It's surprisingly challenging to hold your head still enough to use track IR effectively. I'm getting better at it with practice, though. Alright, and then I believe we had 63,000 pounds for takeoff. 62.3, so we're going to round it up to 63,000 pound takeoff. Of course, it's going to be nice and easy. It's going to be a flap 5 takeoff. So looking at my takeoff landing data cards here, 135. And again and again and again, 35, 35, 35. We done boarding already? I heard some boarding and that was it. $35, and then flap retraction above 143. Climb of 155. There we go. That's all set there. I can go ahead and set the altitude. I'm assuming we're going to get the Beaumont 7 departure, so 3,000 feet. Hit the toga button, and then we got to do yaw damper on, and we got to do heading and alt cell. Alright, and if we're going off the 6s, it's .057. Close, exit 4. That should do it. And there, I think that's all set up. Flight taxi's taxi, timer's reset. It's all set there. The gear is down, the gear doors are open, that's fine. And I think everything else is basically where we need it to be. None of that stuff is turned on. The trim could stand to be reset a little bit. For some reason that always gives us a pitch trim error. There we go. Controls are all looking good. And I'd say we're doing good here. It's been really quiet though. I haven't heard anybody talking on the radio, so hopefully this is going to work here. We're going to give it a try anyways. See if we can get our clearance. Let me just get my pen ready. And yeah, let's see if we can get our clearance going here. Toronto ground, good evening. It's Encore 3518. Nope. For some reason, I am not hearing anything. Okay, why am I not hearing anything? Stand by while I... The pilot's there. Very strange, okay. The other possibility, because V-Pilot's gotten more realistic. And I have to open exit 2. probably the aft baggage while I'm at it. That's why. I've got it on the wrong setting there. I had it on the wrong audio device. Let's try it again. And Toronto ground Encore 3518, radio check.
518 ground, Richard 555.
That's a little better. Encore 3518, thank you very much. Looking for the IFR to Montreal.
Encore 3518, you are cleared to Montreal. IND Beaumet 7 departure. Miglo transition. Flight plan route. Departure runway 06 left. Squawk 5600.
Okay, Encore 3518 is cleared to Montreal. The Beaumet 7 departure, Miglo transition flight plan route with departure off of 06 left and a squawk code of 5600.
Encore 3518, your readback is current. Information light is current. Pushback and startup is at your discretion. Advise ready for taxi.
Okay, push start at our discretion. We'll call for taxi, Encore 3518. Alright, I'm just going to tweak that. I'm going to turn that audio up a little bit because I feel like that's a little bit quiet. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like that's a little bit quiet. So if it's really obnoxiously loud, someone can tell me in the comments, and I'll turn it back down again. In the meantime, all right. So the squawk code was 5600. Let's make sure we got that in there. Otherwise, it sounds like our clearance is pretty much as expected. 5600. There we go. Otherwise, it sounds like our clearance is pretty much exactly as expected. Montreal, Beaumet 7 departure. Miglo 6 left. Yeah. So, we'll do a quick little briefing here. If you'll allow me a moment to pull up my Navigraph charts. There we go. And we'll really quickly pull up the charts list here for Toronto. And what do we got? We got Beaumet 7 departure off of 6 left. Alright, there it is. Alright, so first of all, we'll pin that. The taxi out is going to be very straightforward. Nope, not the airport briefing page. The airport info page. That's the one we want, right? That's the one. You can see we're parked here at gate Charlie 25, so we're expected to probably go out Alpha Juliet, down Bravo, and Delta crossing 33 right for 6 left. We may get to cross somewhere else along here. Only hotspot is crossing that runway. The departure on the Beaumet 7 departure here is the... Alright, sorry, let me just pull this up, make sure you're not clipped too much here. No, I think you can see most of it here. The bold notes radar is required. The rest of these notes are all very standard in Toronto. Same notes on every single SID pretty much. 6 left specifically, unless I was assigned by ATC, it's climb heading 057 to 1,000 feet. Continue climb heading 057 is assigned and expect radar vectors to Avros are assigned, then proceed by the depicted route. Unless otherwise assigned by ATC, maintain 3,000. Aircraft assigned a turn at takeoff, commence turn at 1,100 feet. Alright, so let's just verify that that's what this says. First of all, it says maintain 3,000. We got the initial heading of 057. And the routing is Avros, TSUC, Talib, Beaumet, Nopot, Tiget, and Miglo. That is all in there. Alright. Otherwise, the speeds are in. V1 135, VR 135, V2 135, V fry 143, V climb 155, and that's about it, I think. Terrain 3,100 foot MSA all around Toronto. Weather is fine here. Destination's got a chance of some fog later on, so we may have an issue, but we'll see what we got. Operational, I didn't see any NOTAMs. There's no MELs in this aircraft. Everything's operational. Any questions? No? Alright. That being said, let's go ahead and do an originating before start check. So external power APU. External power is on. Recirc fan is on. Emergency lights are armed. Anti-skid. The one thing I forget because it's in the FO's flow, not the captain's flow, and really I'll set his nav source as well. Anti-skid is on. External check is complete. The gear pins, we did check them once. We're going to check them again, because I'm not going to fall for this again. Gear pins are not installed at this time. Alt gear door and landing gear inhibit switch is closed and norm. And flight deck preparation is complete left and right. Before start check is complete. Or sorry, originally before start check is complete. The before start checklist, circuit breakers. Get rid of this. Check left and right. Escape hatch is closed. Battery master main aux standby is on. And seatbelts are on. Flight taxi is taxi. Yaw damper is on. Fuel quantity, 7,000 pounds, is as planned. And emergency brake pressure is on. And check power levers are discondition levers are fuel off. Takeoff briefing complete. ACAR is initialized. This is the one that I always have to remember is to turn this on. So we're going to start our flight, and it's going to be okay. And that's basically it. Waiting for us to... Was he calling us?
Ground, Westjet 401 Heavy, road taxis to gates.
Westjet 401 Heavy,
Alright.
Toronto, taxi via Bravo, Alpha Juliet.
So let's just go to a quick external view, see if they're loading.
Juliet, Abram, discretion, Westjet 401.
Now, is he showing up or is he done?
4727 ground, I have your clearance advisor to copy.
Let's see what it says here. Waiting for my action to close exit 1. We're going to prepare for pushback and departure.
Ready to copy clearance, Delta 4727 Heavy.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and start closing all those doors up. And we're going to have to get rid of that jet bridge in order to close the door.
Departure runway 05, squawk 0557.
I wonder if I should... Let's try closing it. We really can't close it with the jet bridge there, but it seems to have locked out the jet bridge, so it might be waiting for us to close the exit.
0557 on the box for Delta 4727 Heavy.
Delta 4727 Heavy, your feedback is correct. Information from Mike is correct. Pushback and start is at your discretion. Advisor and taxi.
There goes the door. Let's see if the jetway goes away automatically once the door is closed. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, let's do a quick edit pushback here. And, you know, it's probably... Well, we'll say that's okay. And we'll say, do you want to start engines before pushback? No. Even though we will, because it's just the dash is always a little bit unusual. I'm not sure what just got set off there. Elevator asymmetry, maybe? Hopefully this will all get fixed once we start powering up here. Alright. So the doors are closed. Let's just confirm this. Doors are all closed. Yep, looks good. Alright, so we'll do a start approved check here really quickly. Nose steering is off. And transponder in Toronto is going to on alt. Doors and fueling lights are out. APU bleed is off. And the anti-collision is going to red. The start approved check is complete. Oop, other way. There we go. Alright, he's waiting for us to remove the GPU. We're going to go ahead and start engine 2. Alright, clear on 2. Starting engine 2. NH rotation.
Golf Oscar, Golf Cessna Mike, Chapter ground.
Okay, go show you my stuff, I will call you back.
Roger.
Don't worry about the...
Alright, and that would be engine adapter heat 2. Looks like we got a good start there. So let's go ahead and remove the GPU, disconnect the external power switch. Make sure that the DC generator 2 is carrying some load. It is. Cancel the GPU. Well, first we gotta get rid of that GPU, buddy. Then we can release the parking brakes. One thing at a time, buddy. Hold your horses. Alright, the GPU's gone. And we are good for pushback. Parking brakes released. Thank you. I think the tug lights just came on. Seemed like the whole flight deck got a lot brighter there. Alright. So we're clear of the gate. Have a look at the window. Clear on 1. Starting engine 1. NH rotation. Condition lever up. You'll see fuel flow above 13%. There comes the fuel flow. ITT is starting to increase. Oil pressure is increasing. NL is increasing. Oil pressure is increasing. NH is increasing. Everything's increasing. The prop speed's increasing. That should be engine adapter heat 1. It is. Ah, look, another dash materialized beside us there. And looks like we got a stable start on 1 as well. We got 2 good starts, just waiting for the push to complete. And we're on our way. Gosh, that guy's got some bright lights. Shine right through the floorboards and everything.
Just for your information, Golf Oscar, Golf Charlie Mike, we're gonna need,
I do like the,
I have no idea any of these taxways because I always find UK.
Yeah, let's do the behind. Yeah, there's those bright lights, that's why.
Yeah, we're gonna need taxi,
That's why the flight deck is so illuminated now.
I always find the UK, never the US.
Might be a little bit overly bright, perhaps. Or they should be aimed a little bit downwards, perhaps. I still like the fact that FS Dream Team is constantly improving their product. It's constantly getting better. I paid for it once and then. Alright. Set parking brake, he says. Alright. Parking brake is set. So Buddy's gonna come over. Where is he? There's Buddy. He's gonna come on over. He's gonna disconnect the tug for us, and then we're gonna get underway. Oh, the dash 8 that was there left. Okay. The VATSIM world. They come, they go.
Okay, cleared. Right-hand visual circuits, runway 5 right, not above 1,500, squawk 1202, Golf Oscar,
Golf Charlie Mike, it's runway 05.
Oh, well, it's not right, no?
Negative, there's only one minute 05.
Looks like we got tower, departure, and center all on. Looking good. Pity there's nobody at Montreal.
Not a problem. Your reback is correct. Notice that your discretion advisor to protect.
Advisor to protect, Golf Oscar, right.
Oh, there he is. Okay, thank you. Bring the props out of start feather.
We have to worry about this 747 behind us.
Golf Charlie Mike, negative. You shouldn't get in your way. Okay, where's the Number 6 Delta Golf 5, ground. Good evening. I don't have a flight plan on file for you yet. Can you please try resending it?
There we go. Alright, after start checklist. And this is the one that's butchered because both pilots have very specific things to do, but they can't do them all.
Golf 5, I don't have a flight plan on file for you yet. Can you please try resending it?
Alright. And then, so the FO's flow's got to start over here. Sorry, I always get lost because it's 2 different flows that you got to kind of do together. And so I don't know where to cross over from the captain to the FO side and back. Pumps all on. Alright, and the captain has to check the rudder for full deflection both ways. Excellent. And then the captain will turn on the nose steering. And the weather radar while the FO is then checking the elevators. the ailerons. That looks good. And then turn off the high number 3 valve there. Oop. There it is. Alright, and then we call for the after start checklist. After start checklist says start select light is out. External power and APU are both off. Bleed air 1 and 2 is min and on. Ice detection is standard for now. Caution warning lights. Check to parking brake. Battery temps and loads. Check. And just get that back to the nav. 3 in there. Takeoff plus 1 and 2 are on. Auto feather is AF select. Engine rating normal takeoff power 90%. Engine rating, standby head press P2 control are on. High press and quantity are all checked. High 3 and elevators were checked. Flight controls checked and 3. And de-ice pressure, if you can see it over there, looks like 1818. Flap is 5 set and indicating. Condition levers are max. Nose steering is now on. Radar navcom are set. What I'm just going to do really quickly here is put the tower up in the back. And PTM TED is checked. After start checklist complete. Now we're fogging up. Toronto ground, Encore 3518, ready for taxi.
Encore 3518 ground, runway 06 left, the altimeter 29997. Taxi via Alpha Juliet, Bravo, Delta, cross runway 33 right, hold short runway 06 left.
Okay, 06 left via Alpha Juliet, Bravo, Delta, crossing 33 right and holding short 6 left, Encore 3518. Alright.
Golf Charlie Mike, hold position please.
Hold position, Golf Charlie Mike.
And away we go.
Golf Officer, Golf Charlie Mike, looks like you turned onto Alpha Mike by mistake. Not a problem, just make the next right turn onto Alpha and continue all the way up.
Alright, so taxi light's coming on. The slideshow's beginning here as we start moving around. Let's get the dome light off, so we're not dazzled by what's going on inside the building.
Heavy with Mike, ready for taxi 05. And Delta 4727 heavy ground. Are you able to make that left turn onto Delta Papa in front of you?
Alright, so Alpha Juliet's going to be straight ahead here.
Negative. We'll need Alpha Mike or Alpha Lima. 4727 heavy, not a problem. Runway 0.
Nothing is a problem for this guy. He's very low stress, isn't he?
Yeah, Alpha Mike, Alpha, Hotel, hold short runway 05. Alpha Mike, Alpha, and Hotel will hold short 05. Delta 4727 heavy, thanks. Delta 4727 heavy, sorry, my apologies, that was the wrong text. Here's the text via Alpha Mike, Alpha, Sierra, Echo, Golf, Hotel, cross runway 15 left and 15 right.
Alright, so the second left turn out of here is going to be Bravo, so this first one is Alpha.
In front of me? Yes, you can. We'll follow him to 05, 4727 heavy. And Golf Buster, Golf Charlie Mike, and then your taxi clearance is going to be a left onto Sierra, then Echo, Golf, Hotel, cross runway 15 left and 15 right, hold short runway 05, and progressive taxi is still available.
Alright, so we're going to pass some of these guys as we start taxiing down here. There we go. Alright, we're on Bravo now. So now we can really quickly call for a taxi check. Taxi light is on. The altimeters again, we got 2997 set and we'll say cross-checked.
Continue on Alpha, I'll let you know when the turn's coming up.
And takeoff warn. I'll have to do it after we do this little jog here. Waiting on the takeoff warning. Here comes that traffic coming the other way. Alright, take a really quick stab at the takeoff warning switch. 1, 2, 3. I didn't hear anything, which is good. Alright, so we should be good there.
And Golf Charlie Mike, it's going to be the next left turn onto Sierra.
Stay on the center line.
Runway 15 left.
Next turn, Sierra, clear to cross runway 15 left. Golf Charlie.
Don't steer into the traffic. My side window is also fogging up, so we'll get that over there. Not the straightest taxi in the world. It would be nice if I had an FO to ask to do things for me. Alright, this should be Victor right here. Beam Alpha Lima. Or sorry, that's Tango, a Beam Alpha Lima. Victor's going to be the next one.
Yeah, it's because our brakes is the same as our push.
Alright. We are underway. So this should be Victor here.
Number 6 Delta Golf 5, request a radio check.
Reach 5x5.
Thank you.
Don't join Mike, make a right turn on Takeoff.
Right down onto Echo Golf, Oscar Golf, China.
Okay, cleared across 3-3 right. Look both ways, nobody's coming, and we get the strobe on if I can reach this bloody switch. I think it's on. Can't tell from in here. We can have a look at the outside. Oh yeah. We got strobes flashing. Okay, good. We got strobes flashing.
4727 heavy holding short.
Then we got yeah, turn it back off here.
Delta 4727 heavy, exit cross runway 15 left, and then make a left turn on 0, and a right on 2.
Challenge to do that even during the day, and then in the dark, it's even worse.
Following the little Cessna.
Alright. We're getting there, though. Trying to be everything at once in this operation doesn't always work very well. Alright, but there we go. We're almost at the runway. We can probably go a little bit faster. There's just too much of a dead spot on these ailerons, though. That when I try to do the rudder steering, like it doesn't go anywhere and then suddenly it goes. I think I might need to try and adjust this a little bit here.
518, contact tower now on 118.7. Have a good night.
Sorry, was that for Encore 3518, Tower 1187?
Affirmative.
Alright, thanks. See ya.
See you.
Alright, 1187. I want to look down and change this frequency, but I don't want to do it while we're moving. So what we'll do is we'll go and get in the holy bay here, and then we'll change the frequency, because we're going to need the departure frequency ready to go. If I had an FO, he'd do it for me. Alright, we're just going to sit here for a second with the brakes set, and we're going to make sure we get departure set up and ready to go. .28.8, hopefully he didn't log off while I wasn't looking. Toronto Tower, Encore 3518, holding short 06 left ready.
Encore 3518, Pearson Tower, 170, direction on departure, 5-100, 1090, 109, clear for takeoff from 06 left.
Alright, I believe the heading was 100, we're clear for takeoff, 06 left, Encore 3518.
That's affirmative.
Okay, so it's a right turn heading 100 after takeoff. Clear left and right. Okay, we got the strobes on. And we'll say a lineup check. Alright, so lineup check. Cabin crew seats for takeoff. FA notification is PA. Transponder is on alt. And TCAS is TA only. MFDs are both terrain. Bleed air is min and on. And flight taxi is flight. Line of check is complete. We are cleared to go. We'll be heading 100 airborne. And let's just pull up the PFD. Make sure my heading bug is centered this time. Takeoff, check power. We'll say power set. Here's 80 knots. There's V1 and rotate. There's positive rate, we'll call it gear up. Alright, there's 1100, we're going to make the heading 100.
Encore 3518, contact Toronto, arrival on 132.8
132.8 to Encore 3518, see ya. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get the autopilot on because this is a lot for me to do all at once here. And flaps are 0. Bleeds are going Norman on and climb power.
My apologies, it's 128 decimal order departure.
Okay, thank you. 128.8 for Encore 518. Alright, which was the frequency that I had. Alright, I did that in the wrong order, but I just had to get it done. Toronto departure, hello, Encore 3518 with you, 3000, heading 100.
Encore 3518, Toronto departure, you're identified, good evening. Turn left, direct Avros on course, climb 11000.
Left turn, direct Avros on course on 11000, Encore 3518. Alright, let's get the altitude going here. 1000 feet set, alt cell. And let's just pitch up. We'll get it back into full power. There we go. And then we've got to do direct Avros on course. So we do DTO number 4. And we can arm the nav. LNaving. Avros. There we go. And we're underway. Alright. Now that we got this all organized, let's do the after takeoff checklist. First we'll start with a little flow here. 1, off, 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 off. That didn't take. There it goes off. Alright, after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up. Flaps are 0. Climb power is set. Lead air 1 and 2 is norm and on. Auto feathers off. Tank ox pumps are off. Hide pumps are norm. Engine temps and pressures, everything checks. Everything is green. Ice protection is standard. Plus props and windshield. Or sorry, no, it's just standard. And the windshield. And cabin press temp controls check. We are getting differential building and the cabin's starting to climb, and the FA notification. It's a pretty quick flight, so we'll go ahead and chime the flight attendants. And there we go. And now we're into the clouds, so we should probably get the prop heat on as well, just to be safe. Alright, and we're doing good. We just need to center that rudder trim a little bit there. That's better. That's pretty darn close now. Always centering the rudder trim in this thing. Alright, next will be center. So we better get that ready. 2577. Oop. Gosh, it's hard to find things in the dark. In the real airplane, the knobs are different sizes, but just have to use the mouse in the dark to find the click spots. Oh my gosh. This is not It's not necessarily easy to fly in the dark. I want to turn these up because they're bright. And it's really kind of appropriate for night flying in the real world, but just it's too much. Let's see if I can reach these knobs here. There, that's a little bit more. I'm more able to see what's going on now, at least. Alright, we're on our way. Not too bad. Managed to get off the ground in a little over 30 minutes there. I think it was about 40 minutes we got off the ground.
Encore 3518, contact Toronto Center now, 125.77.
Toronto Center 125.77, Encore 3518, good night. And I see we've got ice detected there, so we're going to go ahead and put on the boots and just check the speed, but the speed is good, 220, yes, we're good. So we can put the increased ref switch on without an issue. There we are. Toronto Center, good evening, Encore 3518 with you, 10,800, leveling 11,000, direct Afros.
Encore 3518, Toronto Center. Good evening. Climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Encore 3518.
Air Canada 437 heavy, turn right heading 030 to intercept the localizer.
Alright, there's 190, which was our planned cruise for the day.
030 for the intercept.
There we go, 190 set, alt cell. And we got through the 10,000, so let's get those done as well. So hard to tell what I've done here, if that's... Yeah, no, up is off, so those are off, off. Yeah, that's off. So lights are off. Cabin pressurization, 424 checks, and seatbelts. We'll go ahead and get them off as well, if I can find the bloody switch. Somewhere around here. Ah, for crying out loud. Okay, I give up. I just give up. It's really a pain that Trump time's trying to just do this. Okay. Hey, so a loaf of sliced bread said greetings, I see. So, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying this. Trying my best to run this as professionally as possible in a what is essentially a single pilot operation and what is really a two-crew airliner. The Dash 8's a fun airplane. It's a really good airplane, but boy, if it isn't a busy airplane with a lot of stuff to do
Just confirm on the heading that was 330.
all the time. So trying to do it, I'm going to turn this up a little bit as well, because I think especially for you guys in the stream here, you know, I'm personally, I love flying in a dark flight deck. In the real world, I love flying in a dark flight deck. But for the sake of the sim here, the contrast is not the best, especially when you start streaming it. So I'm trying to keep these things turned up relatively high. Alright, so we're on our way to Montreal. Quick little performance check here, and we're going to be in Montreal in 59 minutes at our present rate of speed, which is only grounding 285. We're going to add another 60 to 80 knots to that as soon as we level off and cruise here at another less than 4,000 feet. Alright. I don't see... yeah, the ice detector message is still there, so I don't see too much out there. I guess if you really want to see it, though, you'll need to turn on the wing inspection light. I wonder if this really makes a difference in the... you can see it there. You can see it in... on the other side of the wing there. How nice to have ATC, though. This is something that has been missing from all of my previous streams. I don't like the bright screens at night. I like them dim. I really do. It's just the because I like to be able to see outside, and if the screens inside are too bright, you won't get a proper night adaptation. You won't see anything. And the best thing about flying around at night is seeing the stars. And if you've got bright screens on in the flight deck, you'll never see too many of the stars. You'll see maybe the brightest couple, but you won't see stars that look... Now, you guys may not be able to see as well in the stream here, but I can see literally 100 different stars on my screen here right now. So that's why I like to personally turn the lights down as much as possible. But for the sake of the stream, I'm keeping most of the lights in the flight deck relatively bright.
looks like you missed the localized
so you can, so just so everyone can see a little bit better what's going on. It, you know, it's funny because flying at night is such a large portion of the real world, but in the sim, it's not that it's boring in the sim, especially for streaming. Like, there's not nearly as much to look at. Now, we're on top of a cloud deck as well, so you're not going to see any scenery down below at all. Even if it was daytime, you wouldn't see much scenery down below. All right, here we are. We're coming up to transition, so we're going to really quickly set standard. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Standard set and cross-checked and passing 18.2. That looks pretty good. And that's 180 climbing 190. So we have to make sure we got that transition in there at the right time. And then we'll pitch over and we'll really start to accelerate here. This airplane is a little bit anemic at the higher altitudes. Not as bad as I think Majestic makes it out to be. That's my claim anyways. No, some of the Q screens don't go as dark as they really should. Alright, so we're alt-starring. I'm going to turn off the increase ref and the ice protection. Again, if I can find the switches, I'll turn them off. There we go. There we go. It's off now. And there's alt, and we'll start accelerating. Yeah, I personally like generally a flight deck to be quite dim, and it's funny because I like it so dim in general that when I end up pulling up to a gate, I end up having to turn up all the lights inside the flight deck because it's so bright outside I can't even see. But I do like a dark flight deck at night. But you guys wouldn't, if I had these turned down to probably a fairly realistic contrast level, you would probably barely be able to see anything on the screen here as it is. Just because of the streaming and because of the encoding, the contrast that I'm seeing here in the window that shows my stream is even lower than what's showing up on my actual prepared. I do enjoy a good night flight though. They're usually quite smooth, and just there's something about seeing the stars when you get up above at least half the atmosphere. You can see them so much clearer, you can see so many more of them. Alright, now we're starting to get a little bit of a faster speed. We're down to 44 minutes for Montreal. And we're still accelerating pretty well here. I can get us past. We're only, yeah, we got 50 knots behind us. We're only doing 310 true right now. Oh, we're going to tack on a lot more speed here. I don't think I've ever found an airplane that really had a fantastic night lighting system that didn't have its shortcomings. And most of them are usually not shortcomings in the system themselves, but just simply airplanes that get old, that don't get maintained properly, or they just get little quirks in them. Certain sections of the panel are much brighter than other sections. You replace one bulb, so one section ends up being really bright, and then in order to turn it down to like a reasonable level, almost everything else goes dark. One aircraft I've seen, the FMSs, for some reason, the keyboards on the FMSs turned off before half the rest of the panel was darkened to a reasonable state. So, unfortunately, flying a dark flight deck is not always a good possibility. But, anyways. Alright, I think we got about all we're going to get out of this baby today here. It's accelerating a little bit, but let's go ahead and get that cruise check done. There we go. MCR, both sides, cruise, and we call for a cruise check. Alright, so altimeter's 2992, set, cross-checked. Fuel efficiency program is rejected. Power is set to max cruise. Fuel, check. So we're going to be landing in Montreal. Right now it's showing 4,200 pounds. We're going to have even more than that. So lots above our min div, which I think we calculated to 29. Reserves 2819. So yeah, we got an excess of 1,400 pounds. That's lots. Seatbelts. We already switched them off. Lights are as required. It's hard to tell what's on here. I'm just going to put the dome light on for a minute just so I can see what's going on in here. Alright, there we go. Lights are as required. We can probably kill the inspection light. We don't really need that. Cabin press. Checks. The differential is just at the bottom of the max there, 4,000. That looks pretty good for 190. And ice protection. Standard plus props and windshield. We'll leave the props on. Doesn't hurt. At night it's harder to see moisture before you get into it, so we'll leave it on. Ice protection and 24-hour ice test will say it's complete. Cruise check is complete. And there we go. And we're already at Beaumet. We're going to start down probably before too long, to be honest, so I'm going to start planning. Let's see here. Time now is 3:13. We're going to be to Miglo by 3:26, a little over 10 minutes from now, so already we should be planning on our arrival into Montreal. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick little break here from the Crack IR, and we'll check the weather in Montreal, because I don't think we have any controllers in Montreal now. I was kind of hoping for some. Toronto end is well staffed, the Montreal end not so much. What can you do? It's not the end of the world. It's nice to have at least some ATC. Wind's calm, which is nice. We're going to stick with the 24 left because that's the default arrival runway anyways. And the altimeter 3003. So one thing we should do really quickly is just set the altimeter setting Montreal in the backup so we've got a handy reference. Alright, and then next thing to do is to just pull up some plates and start looking at some stuff for the arrival into Montreal. Once again, go into my Navigraph charts. And it's such a great system, such a well-designed system. Go to the Montreal end, open the charts list. And we are on the HABs for arrival. We'll pin that one. We're planning to do the ILS 24 left. We'll pin that one. And we'll pin the taxi chart. Not that I really need it too badly, but we'll pin the taxi chart. Which is this one here. That's, nope, not that one. That one. And we can even pin the apron if we wanted to. We could also get rid of a couple things here. Get rid of the Toronto charts now because we don't need them anymore. Done editing. There we go. Alright. So first we'll start with the HABs arrival. I might even change this to night mode just to stick with the night mood. There we go. And so we're going to Miglu redo at or below 330. That's obviously not hard to meet since we're at 190. IGVID. And then NetMach 24 is at or below 24. So that restriction doesn't even count. RV. ABS at or below 16,000. That's the first one we have to worry about. Comau, VEVQ at or below 9,000. AGNAG. TITUS max to 10 knots below 4,000. Maxod max to 10 knots 3,000 to 4,000 of UVI. So let's just make sure that is all here in our... So redo IGVID NetMach. We don't even need to worry about that one, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And HABs below 16,000, VEVQ at below 9,000, TITUS below 4,000, Maxod at 3,000. That's the best way to really plan it out.
Papa Juliet, you're identified. Welcome aboard.
And what we can do is do our VNAV planning here for HABs.
You park at the North GA tonight? Affirmative, yeah, let's park at North GA. Papa Juliet.
And...
Roger, you can plan for runway 05 then, and information mic is current.
Next after Comau is VEVQ at 9,000. And then we got 20 minutes to top and drop here to reach those restrictions. It says minus 8.31 degrees. That does not seem right. Something's not adding up there. Anyways, we can always override and go into VS mode, but this will provide some descent planning. So 20 minutes till we start down into Montreal. We can still brief up the approach and make sure we're completely ready here. So, again, pull up the Navigraph charts here. And the ILS 24 left is what we're going to be hitting up next. 110.5, 237 inbound course. So we'll come down here to the ArcDo's and set 110.5. There we go. And this one. And then the inbound course of 237. Easy enough to set on the FO side. Since he's not flying, I can just simply change his nav source and pull it around till I get to 237. I can go back to FMS mode like nothing ever happened. Not so easy on my side, so the trick is press and hold the format key for 3 seconds. Boom, your MFD changes to ILS mode instead of FMS mode. Now I can change this one. We're still operating in FMS mode, but just the display here is not in FMS mode. Put the format button back in, and there we go. We're back on course. We got that all programmed in. Our ILSDA, we're looking at 318, so we're going to get we're going to set 320. I feel like there's a NOTAM for, no, there might be a NOTAM for that one. We are going to check it anyways. We'll set 320 for now. We're going to check it in a second here and make sure that there's nothing untoward's going on there. So let me just pull up my... Let's see if I can pull up my SimBrief flight plan here on my other computer really quickly and have a quick look through it. Because I know most of there's construction going on in Montreal. Most of the runways have them at minimums for the time being. I think it goes on until next month. I think halfway through December, I think, is when it's supposed to finally end, if it ends on time. And that's a bit of a stretch, I think. Alright, let's just view that save flight plan there. It's just loading. Give it a second. Always check Xenotams. Alright, let's see here. Destination. Approach procedures, 24 right, 6 left, 24 right. No, I don't see anything about 24 left being amended. Very good. Okay, good. Alright, so that answers that question. Alright, so there is no change to that one. Alright, sorry. Let's just pull up some arrival speeds as well, landing speeds while we're at it, and then I think we'll be ready for a really quick brief. So let's see, landing weight-wise, we're going to go here to the performance page. We're going to say, right now we're at 60.9, we're going to land at 59.6 plus 500, we always add, and that takes us to pretty much 60,000. So we'll use 60,000 pound landing numbers. A long runway in Montreal, so we're going to do a flap 15 landing. So VREF of 124. Well, center got quiet now, didn't it? And 114 for the go-around. And then if we do a go-around, flap retraction will be again at 128. And the climb out then, after flap retraction, will be at 151. Alright, so those are in. The distances, we'll say I've checked.
Montreal Center is offline. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good flight.
Okay, check the radar service terminated and off to Unicom for Encore 3518. Thank you very much for the service. Have a good night.
Delta 4727, contact Minneapolis Center.
Alright, off to Unicom. Not much we can do. As we approach Miglo, yeah, there's not much we can do. That's no controllers online, no controllers online. We'll just carry on our own. Still making good progress. We're doing 350 true, 400 ground speed. Nice. Alright. So again, we'll pull up the charts here and go through them really quickly. Speeds are in, the distances are checked. Again, we saw the arrival. It's the HABS 4 arrival. Page 10-2 Charlie. There's no big notes. RNF 1 DDI or GNSS is required. We are GNSS equipped. And that's about it. Safe altitude 100 miles, 7,400. As I said, we're on our way to Miglo. We're going to go to Redo, Igvid, Epmok already at or below 240, RV, Habs at or below 16, Komau, Vevku at or below 9, Agnag, Titus at or below 4,000, max to 10 knots, and then Maxod between 3 and 4 at a max to 10 knots. Probably at some point before that we'll even vector ourselves around to an ILS runway 24 left in Montreal. So this will be, IMQ will be what we're expecting, 110.5. If I maneuver just right, yes, we got 110.5 both sides. Final approach course 237, I set both sides. Glide slope at Alnott 1500, and the ILS DA is 318. On this aircraft we have to set 320. And there it is, 320 set right there. Touchdown zone at 118 feet, which we've set on the landing field elevation is basically almost sea level, and the MSA is highest southeast of the St. Jean Vieward at 3,500 feet. The missed approach is climb straight ahead at 700 feet on heading 237. At 700 feet, we make a left turn to 2,000 feet on heading 199. When we reach 2,000 feet, then we make a left turn direct to St. Jean Vieward. We don't have any DME off that one. I could do the DME hold off 110.5. ILSDA 318, so we got 320 to RVR 2600, a half mile required. And I'll be honest, I don't have a gate yet assigned for this one, but I'm going to pick one shortly. It's going to be domestic gate. It's probably going to be one of the ones on the back here, because that's usually where Encore ends up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, one of those ones there. Yeah, we can do this. We can do a DME hold, so let's do that. DME hold 110.5. So the way we have to do a DME hold in this aircraft... Wait a second. Is that the same frequency? That is the same frequency. It's just the other end of it, isn't it? 110.5, 110. Okay, so the DME is just at the other end of the runway paired with the other localizer. But, okay. So we don't even have to do a DME hold. Okay, beautiful. Alright, so that's it. That's my Navigraph charts. That's my approach briefing. Terrain, 3,300 foot MSA. Weather. Let's just have a quick little look-see here. It's looking pretty good. 10 miles, sky clear right now. 3 degrees, 2 degrees. The temperature dew point spread is pretty low. That's why there's a chance of fog. 3003 is set on the meter. And the winds are reporting calm right now. Operational, no node times affecting 2-4 left. And the aircraft is all functional as well. Just going to try to adjust that a little bit there so it stops bouncing around so much. And fuel situation again. We're still showing overhead Montreal right now with 4,300 plus pounds. We only need 2,800 pounds at a minimum to go to Quebec City, so we've got at least 1,000 pounds extra, probably even more than that by the time we get there. We're looking good. That tailwind's really helping us out. So the one thing I'm going to do right now is just check for a gate on this flight. And given how well this flight's going, it's going pretty well, and it's going pretty quick. I think we might try to do a turn in Montreal and come back. We are going to arrive at gate 6 in Montreal. So right along that backside pretty much is where Encore always parks. But since we're doing so well, I think we're going to try to do the return leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look at the flight number here. So if we look at my schedule here for the return leg, give it a second. The return leg is 3513. 3513, so we're going to try to do that one. So what I'll do is I'm going to just lean over to my other computer really quickly here and plan it out. Get myself a flight plan for Encore 3513, was it? I've already forgotten. Yeah, 3513. Fill this out really quickly, take us from Montreal back to Toronto, still in the Dash 8. Because I'm doing this on another computer, I don't have it importing automatically from Pilot's Life, but I know what I want from it. It's not going to take very long to get that all done here. Do auto. Alright, Bob Key Multi Torney, Udnox 5. That's pretty quick. So we'll generate that, we'll file that flight plan, we'll get it all ready. And is that the top of drop there? I think that's the top of drop, just scrolling into view at the top, or is that just the... That might actually not be... yeah, I think that's the top of drop right there, scrolling into view. Alright. So let's make sure this flight is filed and ready to go. Make sure I've got my information up here and ready to go. And if that's all done already, then that is that much quicker we can get turned around. So here's hoping we can get this turned around, and maybe we might just be able to get the return leg in tonight, and that would be nice. Get 2 legs killed off on this a pilot's life voyage that I'm on. And if I can do that, then I'll only have 2 legs left in my schedule here, and that will be a Boston turn, and that's going to be a nice one too. That one I think I'm going to save again for an evening stream, because there seem to be more of you guys watching, which is great. Thank you guys for watching and supporting me. But also because we'll have a lot more ATC. If there's 2 centers that you can depend on being online on a very regular basis, it's Toronto and Boston. Those are some of the best centers on the East Coast. Sorry, no offense to anybody else, but in terms of staffing, in terms of consistently staffing, having people on night after night, those are 2 very good centers to be dealing with. So I'm hoping that I can schedule one where we'll have a non-stop ATC from start to finish. That would be great. And then even if you only get 1 leg done, still, I think it's totally worth it. So that's it. We're almost ready for our top and drop there. It's coming up in about another 30 miles there and down into Montreal. If anyone has any questions about the queue, now's the time to ask. It's about to get busy with the arrival process very soon. And then won't have time to necessarily answer a whole lot of questions. So if anybody's got any questions about the magical queue, now's the time to ask. One thing that's a bit weird about this model, and I'm not sure why, but the lights on the top and bottom should not be flashing white. They should be, well, they should be white, but they should be red as well. Why we don't have any red beacons on, I don't understand. All we have is the white strobes. Do I have a belly shot of this aircraft? I must have a belly shot. For some reason we just have a white flashing strobe, we don't have a red flashing beacon in it. It's funny because there's actually a switch for it. We turn it on, but it doesn't seem to do much. Red, white. But when it's on white anti-collision, it's actually supposed to be on both. So let's see if we can. So is it the case that then if I turn it to that, only the red ones come on? Or do we just not have red beacons flashing on this aircraft? There we go. Yeah, we do have the red one on. There we go. Alright, anyway, since we're airborne, it should be white. We're approaching our top of descent point, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set a lower altitude. Normally going to Montreal, we get cleared down to 8,000, so that's what we're going to set. 8,000 feet set alt cell. We have to wait to arm the VNav a little while though. About 3 more minutes we should be able to arm the VNav and chase that down. We're doing pretty good here though. 349 indicated, or 349 true, 403 over the ground. It's going to be a little bit slower if we do decide to turn around and go do the road back, as that 50 knots is going to be right in our faces, but shouldn't be too bad. And now Canadian Ace, follow me there. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm always trying to provide more information about flying airplanes in general, and specifically the Q. I love this airplane. Right now, my Twitch stream is all about the Q. It's just trying to advance on my career. At some point, I may move off the Q if I get a job at another airline. Let's see what's going on in the job market these days. Maybe I'll get a job at another airline that I like to work at. But I'm kind of enjoying the Q anyways, and I really want to finish my current flight schedule before I do anything else. Air Georgian. Oh dear, Air Georgian. Let's see if we have Air... Where's Air Georgian? Why can't I find it? Air Greenland, Air Georgian. Let's just see the airline details for Air Georgian, just out of curiosity here. Not really an airline I'm interested in working for, but they have some interesting destinations. 1900s and RJs. If you have the Aerosoft RJ, it might be a decent company to work for. Or the 1900. So they go out to Halifax, Washington. They go as far as Jacksonville, Savannah, Charlotte, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, Columbus, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Milwaukee. Where's that? Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Memphis. Not a terrible route network, but I don't want to work for Air Georgian. Who else is interested in me here? Comair. Air Georgian surprisingly actually wants to pay me the most out of all the places that are offering me. Silver Airways. Did we reach top of drop yet? No, not yet. I would really like to be able to right-click on these to see the information instead of having to scroll through this list. QRS, Silver Airways Corp. ATR 42s and Saab 340s. Neither are an aircraft that I have in the sim, so no interest in working for Silver. Nothing personal against them, I just don't have those aircraft in the sim, and if I'm going to work for an airline, it's for something that I'm going to be able to fly, so... Might work for none of the American majors and try to fly my Mad Dog around a little bit. Oh, there's my VNAV path. So you see that it's alive now, or it's not that it's alive, but it's on the screen anyways, which means I can arm the VNAV and it's going to track it down. I'm going to get ready to start riding those power levers, so we're going to go ahead and turn off the dome light and get ready. I do stream, not very often, I'll be honest. I wish I streamed more often. It's once every week or two at the most. I'm trying to do it at least once a week, but it's not working out that well, unfortunately, with my schedule. So I'd like to say it's going to be at least once every other week. I'm targeting once a week, but we'll see how it goes. That is an excellent question. The question in the chat window there is: if you lose both engines, would you lose elevator power since they're both powered by the number 1 and number 2 hide system? That is an excellent question, and the answer is no, you would not, because the elevator is the most critical flight control. There is a third system that powers the elevator, and that is the number 3 hydraulic system. So you have this switch here, the high 3 ISO valve, and what happens is if you were to open this and turn it on right now, you'll get this elevator press caution light. What has happened now is that the third system, which has got the hydraulic pressures, you see it here, it is working, is now also powering the elevators. So normally you leave that closed, and give it a second, that elevator press light will go off. And normally there's no pressure going to the elevators. But should you lose either the number 1 or number 2 system, as soon as you lose one of those two systems, the number 3 system will automatically kick in. You can also force it in. It is not powered by AC, so if you lose both systems, if you lose both engines, you lose all power to the number 1 and the number 2 system. The number 3 system is powered by DC. It can be powered by the batteries alone, so if you have nothing but battery power left, it will still power the elevator. So you won't have any other flight controls, you won't have spoilers, you won't have rudders, but you could land an airplane without spoiler or rudder. However, you could not land without elevators. So there's a third redundancy in the elevator system. The number 3 system is solely powered by DC voltage, by a DC driven pump. and it's part of the design certification. If you were to lose both engines, or if you were to have a total electrical failure, there's got to be enough electrical power to still run that number 3 system for at least minimum 30 minutes, which should be enough time for you to land. If you ever had that double engine failure, elevator control is not going to be an issue. You will have elevator control. It's doing something about the fact that you have no engines and you just turn into a really expensive glider. That's going to be your problem. But you will have elevator control if you lose both engines. It's an excellent question, though. And when the hydraulic system presentation video comes out, which will be not too long from now, there'll be more information about it. So that is the next system course I'm working on, is the hydraulics. I think it's a pretty important system in this aircraft. It powers a lot of different systems. So before I go into any of those other major systems that it powers, like flight controls, landing gear, etc., it seemed only sensible to talk about the source of power for those systems, which is the hydraulics. So the hydraulics is the next module that's being worked on. I would say at this point it's about somewhere between 30 and 40% complete. A lot of the basic scripting's done. The audio's been already mostly recorded. It's a matter of putting all, and most of the diagrams have actually been created. It's basically a matter of actually putting the presentation together at this point. And I put together about 20% of it, so it's going to probably be, I hope it'll be before Christmas it comes out. I've managed to find more time lately to work on it. I'm hoping that it'll come out before Christmas. Got a couple other videos that I'm also working on in the meantime as well. The systems videos, I enjoy doing them, but there's so much intensity to them that sometimes I like to step back and do something else just for a little while, just to take a little bit of a break, take my mind off it, because they are really intense videos. Alright. Did we already pass ABS? Yeah, we did. And we're at below 16,000. Our next waypoint is VEVQ at or below 9,000. I hope we're descending fast enough. It's got the restriction in there. Seems to want to meet it, 1,700 feet per minute. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be okay. And how far are we from Montreal here? That's the 40-mile range. Once we get within about 25 miles of Montreal, we're going to start making some traffic calls. I don't think there's anyone else really operating on the VATSIM network there, but you never know. People pop up at any moment. So just having a quick look over here on my other screen. No, it does not look like anybody's in there right now. But, like I said, people pop up at a moment's notice. You got to always be ready. And we will be appropriate. We will make some traffic calls here. Alright, one thing we didn't do was we didn't do the descent check, so I'm going to do it really quickly. Descent check. Fuel was checked in the briefing, and approach and landing briefing is complete. Cabin altitude controls are set for landing, and the cabin PA will say is complete. Cruise, the descent check's complete, and then we also did descent through 18,000 a while ago, but then I started talking. So transition set 3003. So 3003 inches set and cross check passing through 13.4. Yeah, pretty darn close. Alright. And that's it. Next will be through 10,000. I think that's the Montreal airport starting to load there. Oh, I can see Montreal in the distance there. I don't know if you guys can even really see it that well in the stream because it's very faint, but it looks like it's there. So I pull up GSX, but we're not quite close enough yet. We gotta get below 12,000. But if you look in the distance, there are some lights there. It's actually really nice and clear here. You can see Montreal clearly from here. And go ahead and turn off the prop heat. We don't really need that. I'm going to leave the windshield heat on just to keep this thing from fogging up. Alright. Wow, this should be easy. If we drop down quick, we can probably even forget the ILS and just do a tight visual. Squeeze it in quickly, and then we'll be able to get that second leg started just that much faster. So let's just do that. We got it pretty much running at idle here. Don't dare pull the levers back anymore, because it'll probably set off the beta alarm in a second. Alright, so let's go ahead and do 10,000s. want to hear 2 chimes. And that tells the cabin crew to prepare for landing. I'm going to increase our rate of descent here. Montreal traffic, Encore 3518 is established on a right downwind, runway 24 left. Alright, and approach checklist. So altimeters, again, we've got 30031, 1, 2, 3 set. Still losing speed, we'll pitch down just a little bit more. Nav aids, we'll say not applicable. We're just going to swing around for visual anyways, and the FMS will back us up, but we can see the runway from here. Fuel transfer is off, and I actually forget to do the flow all the time here. Tank ox pumps are on. GPWS landing flap 15 is selected. Hide quantity, and that's 9 descending 8, so let's go ahead and set a lower altitude here. Set 4,000 for now. Let's see here. Where was I? Hide quantity. Checks. Caution warning lights. Check. Seatbelts are on. Lights are on. And cabin secure. We'll complete the approach checklist. Alright, so there's the airport. We're going to swing around for the landing on 24 left. Because it's such a beautiful night, and in order to save time, because we're a Dash 8 operator and time is money, we're going to swing around for visual. On to runway 24 left. Alright. Need to lose a little bit of altitude here. We're going to beam the airport right now. So we can go ahead and probably drop ourselves down to 3,000. Keep that nice high rate of descent going for now. One thing we can do while we're sitting here and getting everything else set up is make sure we're ready for gate 6. That sounds like that might have been the gate we used last time we came here, to be honest, in this airplane. Alright, descending through 5,000. ALNAV is the FAF. We're probably going to end up being able to turn final right near the FAF. And I'm probably just going to end up disconnecting the autopilot and hand flying a little bit. One thing I'll get the FO to do is I'll get him to go to the ILS mode right now. Hopefully I don't make a total fool of myself doing this. 4,000, descending 3,000. Yep, I just did a big no-no. Never touch anything when you're in that last 1,000 feet, unless you want to trigger, get out of the alt cell mode. There's alt star. It's leveling off. Alright, speed's dribbling back as we do this. Alright. Alt. Hide pumps on. And let's go ahead, flap 5. And we'll say the cabin crew's been notified. Cabin crew seats for landing. Alright, headings 150. We don't need to lose quite that much speed yet. We will, however, have to drop down to about 2,000 for now. And in a second, I'm going to disconnect the autopilot here. That'll do. Alright, I better make sure I like where I'm sitting, because this is going to be a little bit interesting. Where did that airport go?
2,500.
Alright, the one thing I'm going to do as well, is we're going to sequence those waypoints. Alright. Oh, we're overspeeding the flaps now.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Alright, those are too far back. Where's that runway we're gonna land on? Alright, there it is. Okay, we're doing okay here. We're actually doing okay. I'm gonna pull this up. We are gonna switch this.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be letting it descend quite that quickly until we turn final here. We are above the glide slope, but we can land a little long too. Alright, let's go gear down. Flap 15. There we go. We're doing okay here. We're high on the slope. We're quite high on the slope, but we're also slow, so we can afford to lose a little bit of that there. Alright, landing check. Alright, so hide pumps are on, landing gears down, 3 green, flap is 15 set and indicated, and condition levers, I can hear them, they are max.
1,000.
There we go, we're catching up the glide slope nicely. Ice protection is standard plus the windshield, bleed air is min and on. And the FAA notification is PA, landing check is complete. Cleared to land, we'll say. I'll clear myself to land by putting the taxi light on there. There we go, we pulled out that visual pretty nicely. Not too bad for single pilot flying too. That is the challenge. If you had an FO to do even half the stuff, this would be a lot easier. But it can be really challenging to fly this airplane by yourself. She's a handful. There's a lot of switches to do, sequencing waypoints in the FMS, getting flaps, and doing the final landing checklist while hand flying. Way too much work for a single pilot sometimes. I'm not even paying much attention to the... I'm paying attention to the raw data of the glide slope. I'm not paying much attention to the
50,
flight director.
30, 20, 10.
Added a little bit too much power. And that's the trouble with flying it on with power, is that if you add just a little bit too much, there's no point slowing down too quickly here because we're just going to roll all the way to the end. Then we're going to have to do everything really quickly. Yeah, it's a little bit of a floater almost, though, more than a greaser. And that's the trouble with the Dash 8. You can't flare the Dash 8. You have to land by adding a little bit of power. But if you add too much, it just floats above the runway forever, and you chew up a lot of runway very quickly. So it's a dark art to land a Dash 8. Especially, not just the Dash 8, the Q400 specifically. It is a dark art to land the Q400. Just because of the length of it. You cannot pitch this aircraft. Here's a good lesson for all of you people who enjoy the Q. You cannot pitch this airplane above 6 degrees on touchdown. So this first bar here is 5 degrees. You can go 1 degree above that. If you reach 6 degrees, if you get the black bar centered on that, you've hit 6 degrees. If you go another degree up, you can have a tail strike. So you have to keep it to 6 degrees or less. Why are you stuttering and stopping? All right. Clear the runway. We'll just stop and we'll do this stuff because I'm already just a little bit overwhelmed. Fleecer. I like it. I'm a little bit overwhelmed already just from that visual approach. It took a lot out of me, so let's just stop and get our wits about us. Alright. So we're just gonna sit there for a second. We're gonna set the parking brake just for a second so I can do that after landing flow. Alright, after landing flow. Alright, so bleeds are still min and on. Flaps up. Control locks on. Tank ox pumps are off. Yacht dampers off. I never even made another traffic call. I meant to. I really did. Flight taxi's taxi. Anti-collision is going to red. All other lights are as required. Transponder staying on. The ice protection is going all off, except for the windshield heats, which we always have to leave on now in this airplane. Main bus tie is tied. And we'll do the checklist as well really quickly. So after land checklist, radar is where is it? Radar is off. Transponder is staying on alt for now. Flaps are 0. Control locks are on. Tank aux pumps are off. Yaw dampers off. Flight taxi is taxi. Anti-collision is red. All the lights are required. Ice protections all off. Main bus tie is tied, and the APU is staying off. The after landing flow is complete. All right, brakes off, and let's go over here. We just need to go around the corner. Gate 6 will be right there. Whew. That was a good one, but that's how you operate the dash efficiently too. You take those shortcuts. And I don't mean shortcuts in a bad way, but you take the visual approach when you can get it. I don't mean shortcuts for safety, but you take a visual approach when you can get it. If you are confident in yourself, the ability of your FO as well, that's also important. You don't want to overwhelm whoever you're flying with. So if you feel like something's going too fast and you're not able to keep with it, say so. If you're in the right seat, say so. Alright. Marshaller's in sight. So we'll turn the taxi light off and the dome light goes on. There we go. That way the marshaller can see us as we're making hand gestures to him. Not obscene ones, usually, just normal ones. Park and brake set, communicate. Alright, come on, don't stall out on me now. We're already almost here. We can do this. We can do this. We can get this puppy turned around and go back to Toronto, I think. Don't know how many controllers are still going to be online when we get there, but... Wow, I can't figure out which way you want me to go. Alright, we're going to call it there. Alright, parking brake set. As soon as you set the parking brake, the high pumps can go to norm. The bleeds can go to off. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to call for the GPU while we do the shutdown checklist. So we got to do start the stopwatch. There it goes. Alright. No steering off. Seatbelts off, and you call for the shutdown checklist. So shutdown checklist says taxi light is off. Transponder is now, should be on. Standby. Emergency brake is on. Standby high press P2 controller norm. Power levers are dis. Condition levers are start feather. No steering is off. Seatbelts are off. Bleed air is min and off. And external power APU, so probably by now they've got the external power on. And the only way to know really for sure is to be on this screen here. Nope. Not there yet. Try it again. I did request it, right? Oh. Maybe the request didn't take. There it is. Maybe because I still had the prop set not in start feather yet. Alright. External power. Nope, still didn't like it. One more time. There it is. The DC external power is on. Condition levers, 30 seconds. Well, we're way past that. Fuel off. Lights, as required. Standby oxymain batteries. Off. Battery master off. And emergency brake is staying on. Alright, and that's it. We are here. Let's see if we can't get that jet bridge to show up here. Oops. Operate the jetway, please. For some reason, so it always fails right about this point. I don't know why, but it does. So we'll just... thank you. Alright, here it comes. In the meantime, we will open the door before it gets here. That's the alarm. And we'll request deboarding. And that's it. That's the first leg done here. I can go back to my current flight. We can go ahead and end that. End flight successfully. Another flight done. We're going to get some experience points. Great. That's another flight done. And I'm not even going to really look at it right now because I want to get the flight back going. So let's get her done, as they say. All right. The bridge is here. Did I request deboarding? I did request deboarding. Okay. So that's going to go. The other thing I'm going to do is open some more exits here. I'm going to open the aft baggage for sure. We don't need more catering because we're just on a really quick turn. We will probably need more fuel. So I'm just going to take my track IR away for a second, guys. And have a quick look at my planned fuel for the turn leg. 65 with no extras. We'll say 7,000. We'll move it up to 7,000, I think. All right. So while that's happening, I'm going to disconnect and then reconnect as 3513, and that should hopefully be, my flight plan should be there. It is. Love it. Good. That's there. Make sure that that is, yeah, no, that's all correct. Okay, good. All right, and start setting up for this return leg in 1 second here. I'm just going to make sure that I've got everything set up here. And CYYZ-CYUL back to Toronto. And that's...
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Find the aircraft here. Okay, good. Sorry, guys. Just trying to really quickly set up the flight plan, find the flight plan for the return leg here. It's a really straightforward flight plan as well. So you should see the stuff start to change here at the bottom in a second. There we go, 35. This is planned to go back at 24,000. Alright, I think that's everything. Let me just check the overlay here, that all looks good. We got the new flight number in there. We got the destination, departure point, the flight plan. It's all in there. Okay, good. That's all in there. Alright, and I think we're ready. Did I call the fuel truck? I did not, but we are going to need the fuel truck, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and start getting set up for the return leg here. Alright, so first thing is, back in here, we 99 the flight plan. Type in 99, it gets rid of everything. Okay, CYYZ-CYUL. Let's see if we can get back off the ground in less than 30 minutes here. CYYZ. And what we can do is we can also request boarding. And that'll be, once the deboarding is done, we'll start doing that. Flight plan menu, depart. From Montreal, we're going to depart again on 24 left. The Montreal 1 departure. There's no transition to this. It's just 24 left. And I'm just going to take this off track IR for a second so it's not crazy moving the whole time. Alright, and then it is the routing here is Bobkey. Melty. And then Torney for the ragged for the Udnox 5 arrival. Torney and then we can do them arrival. Let's see here. So we're going to probably plan to arrive on 06 left, same one we departed on. And there it is, Udnox 5 arrival. I think what's more important is that I put the 06 left transition in there and I can put in some manual waypoints before that. ILS 06 left, IL Lippy. Alright, so Bobkey, Melty, Torney. I think there's a couple waypoints missing. Let me pull up my Navigraph and have a look at it here. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do CYYZ. We can just do it this way without even rearranging everything. But we need the UDNOX 5 arrival. Where is it? Oh, that's the departures. Oh, is it getting late? I feel like it's starting to get late already. Okay. UDNOX 5 arrival. Okay, so after Torny should be Libum Igsap, UDNOX, then Ragged. So we do Libum, Torny, UDNOX. Nope. That's not right. Torny twice. That's not right. What did I do here? Libum Igsap, UDNOX, Ragged. So this one is not correct. Nope. No, that one is correct. This one is not correct. Torny, so nope. I'll see. So there's supposed to be a Torny in here. Torny, Libum. Then here's where we put Igsap. And then we should have...
I'm right next to her. Thank you.
So, Igsap, UDNOX, then Ragged, Rat. Get rid of the no link. Semti, Reese's, Verco, Darpu, Danip, Masar, Ran. Which is Semti, Reese's, Verco, Darpu, Danip, Masar, Ran. That's all good. Okay, good. And then we should have the ILS to 06 left in there. Yeah, that's all there. Okay, good. Next is the fuel we have to deal with. So fuel, we're going to have to... actually, let's do this. Let's get into our control panel really quickly here and have a quick look at my flight plan here. Sim Brief is only putting 65 passengers the way back. Still pretty good load for this late at night here. So we'll put 10, and we'll delete one person from the front as well, and we'll say 14, and that's 65 people, which is what they wanted. And again, they want 200 pounds. It's not a... and then 6,500, we'll say 7,000 pounds again. We'll just load that right back up again. And we've now sent it. 7,000 pounds is what we should be at again here. Why did that not send me 7,000 pounds? Alright. Let's go back and let's do this here. Let's put fuel on board. It's going to be 7,000 by the time we're done fueling. And let's just dig out that information about our alternate. It's 1457. Our alternate today is going to be London for this leg. Holding fuel should be pretty similar, 1368. There we go. Our ZFW today is going to be 54,390. So we lost a few people, so it's a little bit lighter than it was. 54,390, there it is. Alright, still the same time zone setup. I'm not sure why the fuel is not changing. Now, the fuel truck, I think, was here. He appears to be gone already, so let's try that one more time. There. That took that time. I can see now we got 7,000 pounds, 3,500 aside. Okay, good. Fueling is done. I'm boarding passengers now. We're boarding. All right, good. And I think that's the FMS is all set up. So let's just quickly go through this, get the batteries back on again. And that's all good. We're going to just leave that stuff on. Fueling is done. Seatbelts can go back on again. I can find the switch. Alright, and we're going to go back to FMS mode again. The heading is going to be 237 off 24 left here, Montreal. And the takeoff weight is now going to be 61,362. I think it's almost what we used last time. I think it's one below what we used last time. Now, these speeds should be eradicated once you go flying. These V speeds, the V1, V2, VR, V2 should not stay the same. Alright, we're going to do flap 5 again. We're losing 1 knot. Flap 5 takeoff. So we're going to be 134, 134, 142, and 154. There we go, that's all good. Our flap retraction altitude out of Montreal is 1200. There we go, and the altitude for takeoff for prop is going to be 3,000 feet. So okay, go around heading alt cell up 1200, 3000. The heading's correct. Yeah, that all is just about set up there. Sounds like boarding is done. I don't hear a whole lot of boarding going on. Make sure those gear pins do not go in this time, because I'm going to be very annoyed if I have to come back again. This is the airport where it happened last time, was Montreal. There we go. Alright, I think we're just about ready to go here. What's the status of our passengers? Are we boarding passengers now? I'm not sure what's taking so long. I don't hear them boarding, so it makes me a little suspicious of GSX that it's gotten lost somehow along the way. Because we do want to get out of here. Alright, let's do the before start checklist. So circuit breakers, again, check left and right. And escape hatch is closed. Battery master main, aux, standby are all on. And seatbelts are on. Flight taxi is taxi. Yaw damper is on. Fuel quantity is 7,000 pounds. Again, that checks. Emergency brake pressure is on and check. Power levers are dis. Condition levers are fuel off. The takeoff briefing is complete. Actually, no, the takeoff briefing is not complete. The takeoff briefing to go. And the ACARS initialization. So let's make sure we do have this. This is Toronto. Departure Montreal. Arrival Toronto. Start flight. Good. Don't want to forget to do that. Okay, and the takeoff briefing, so we'll do that really quickly here. It's pretty straightforward here in Montreal. So again, we'll go back to Montreal here. Chart me. I'm just going to, yes, clear the pin board altogether for the flight because we're just going to start pinning new stuff here. So, taxi chart for Montreal. So the taxi out from gate 6 is going to be fairly straightforward. It's going to be Alpha Mike and Alpha crossing runway 28 all the way to threshold 24. We could probably actually do an intersection departure. We might take Alpha 3 just to save us a little bit of taxi time. Montreal 1 departure is pretty straightforward. 10-3, the 17th of May 2019. Safe altitude for 100 miles at 7,400 feet. And off 06 left, it's climb heading 057, sorry, it's 24 left. Climb heading 237 is assigned for vectors to assigned route, and unless otherwise assigned by TC, non-jets maintain 3,000. We got 3,000 heading 237 set. That's pretty much it. The speeds are already in there. Terrain is, what's the highest MSA on there? Highest MSA is 3,300 feet. The weather is beautiful here. Clear skies here, and not too much problem at the destination as well. Operational. I got nothing really. No NOTAMs affecting the departure process as long as we do 24 left, and no MELs in this aircraft. Fuel is looking good. I don't know what's going on with GSX. It seems to have forgotten itself. So I'm going to just go ahead and say reset position. I'm going to say the passengers are probably loaded at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and request pushback and departure. We don't need de-icing. And I like that. I like that pushback there. All right, just give us a second, buddy. Let's just get that right engine started anyways. We gotta get the jet bridge off.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
All right, there he goes. The gear pins are not installed. And also close that baggage door. And I'm even going to take one more look because I was so ticked when I took off in that. Let's just have a really good look in there. I don't see anything that looks like a red flag hanging down. Okay, hopefully that gear's going to go up on this one because I'm going to be super ticked if it does not. Okay. Alright, so start approve check. That's where we're at. No steering is off, and transponder is going to go to on alt, and we're probably going to set new code here. There it is. Doors and fueling lights are out. APU bleed is off, and the anti-collision is going to red. The start approve check. Oop, not that way, the other way. Complete. Clear on 2. Starting engine 2. And then we got rotation. Maybe it's just me, but it feels like this has been a pretty quick turn. We got that stuff pounded in there pretty quick, which is good. It's the only way we're going to get done anytime this evening, so. Alright, so that was engine adapter heat 2. Alright, and that all looks good. Let's take off the external power switch. Make sure that generator's handling the load, then we can remove the GPU.
Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Alright, just wait. There goes the GPU. Okay, we can go ahead and release the parking brake.
Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Alright, fortunately these engines don't really generate any forward thrust when they're in start feather. So we're going to go ahead and start that engine 1. Clear on 1. Starting engine 1. Here's the rotation. Condition levers up. Fuel flow. Oil pressure's increasing. We have light off. NL's increasing. Everything's increasing. It's engine adapter heat 1, or you could just say associated. Looks like we have a nice stable start there. I like it. Looks like a good stable start. Start select light is out. And these guys are almost done pushing us back to the customized position that we wanted them to. It's nice that you can customize the positions and then you can even save them. Simple concepts, but you feel like FS Dream Team is really listening to user suggestions sometimes. Or maybe they're seeing what other companies are doing out there with X-Planes pushback procedures, for example.
Set parking brakes.
But regardless of where they got the idea from, they've implemented it well as well. Alright, that is just the parking brake. Here's hoping that some of that ATC stays online in Toronto long enough for us to get back to. We're really kind of stretching it here.
Unlocking gear.
We'll see. I've done
Tow truck disconnected.
just about every other stream without ATC, so what's one more, right? Alright, there they go. Wait for this guy to give me a little wave, and we can go ahead and take it out of the start feather.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Alright, good enough for me. There's the wave. Here come the props out of start feather. This guy should be back in FMS mode too. Alright, there we go. Looks like we're good. Alright, so the after start checklist. Alright, then we go over and be this guy. No matter how many times I do this, I'm always confused by it. Flap 5, control locks off. All this stuff goes on. Again, that's elevator press. We do the rudder check. And then the FO does the elevators and the ailerons. Should see the spoilers at least go, and then he can turn off the elevator press. And then number 3, hide ISO valve. Whatever it's called. No steering on, and transponder standing by. Alright, and the after start checklist. Okay, so again, after start checklist is start select light is out. External power and APU are both off. Bleed air is min and on. Ice protection is standard plus the windshields. Caution warning lights checked with spark and brake. Battery temps and loads. Everything checks. And tank oxygens 1 and 2 are on. Auto feathers AF select. Engine rating is normal. Takeoff power 90%. Bleeds on. Standby hide press P2 controller on. Hide press and quantity are checked. Hide 3 and elevators are checked and free flight control. Sorry. Hide 3 elevators were checked. Flight control checked and free and de-ice pressure. Checks. Flaps are 5 set and indicating condition levers are max. No steering is on. Radar and navcom set. And PFD, MFD, ED are all checked. No flags. The after start checklist is complete. Let's get out of here. Taxi light on and dome light off. Maybe we'll get Toronto Center before they log off. If we can get airborne fast enough, we can do it anyways. Just a 2-mile taxi to the other end of the runway here. No big deal. Alright, we might be going just a little wee bit fast here. Just a little bit more under control, please. 30 knots on a straightaway in the dash is not bad, but cranking around the corners shouldn't be more than 10 to 15 knots. Now we're not even doing 20 anymore. Give it a little more juice here. Alright, let's just get across the threshold 28, and then we'll do the taxi check. Alright, so here comes 28. We'll say we're cleared across. We are going to put this to white. Strobes for the crossing. Again, I don't see anybody. The runway's technically closed right now anyways, in the real world at least. We're going to operate on that assumption in here as well, but regardless. I should get used to using the rudder a little bit. The tiller's nice to crank it around. The rudder's nice for fine, precise steering. Alright, there we are. We're back across the threshold, the hold line. Alright, that's back on red. And the taxi check. So taxi light is obviously on. The altimeters, I haven't rechecked to see if it's updated here. 3005. There we go, 3005 is set both sides. And takeoff warning. 1, 2, 3. Hold it for about 3 seconds. Should be enough for it to go off. Don't just give it like a quick flick. Make sure you hold it for about 3 seconds. And cabin secure. Taxi checks complete. Now, one thing I noticed as we're taxiing here, it's indicating a left turn to the runway. Because we're going to make a right turn on the runway, it's not going to Oh, now it's showing a right turn. Because we very slightly turned right. Hopefully it'll stay that way, because if it's showing a left turn when you make a right turn on the runway, it'll continue to show a left turn. If you make a right turn on the runway, it'll recenter. Anyways, we're going to do the intersection departure here. From, I believe it's Alpha 3. Montreal traffic, Encore 3513 is taking position runway 24 left at Alpha 3 for departure. Alright, lineup check. Cabin crew sees for departure. And lineup check. Identification is PA, transponder is on alt. TCAS is TA only, MFDs are both terrain. Bleed Air 1 and 2 is, let's just have a quick look down the runway, I don't see anybody coming. Bleed Air 1 and 2 is min and on, and flight taxi is flight. Lineup checks complete. Kind of missed the center line there while I was doing all sorts of things there. That's just not too bad. The only thing I need is some lighting now. I did not get the beacon back on as we came on, but we're doing it now. There we go. Now we got some lights. Check this, make sure that heading bug is centered. It looks like it is actually centered, so we're doing pretty good. Montreal traffic, Encore 3513 is rolling for departure 24 left. Alright, takeoff, check power. Looks like power is set. 80 knots, 90 knots. B1 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Alright, now the way you're supposed to do it, if you have an FO, you call it 1200, you go flaps 0, bleeds on, climb power set, and then you're supposed to select autopilot on. Hard to do though if you're the only person doing everything. Alright, that's 2 climbing 3. We're going to go ahead and set our cruise altitude of 240 because nobody else is here to care. And there's no noise abatement when you're a prop, so we'll just go ahead and DTO the first waypoint here, which is Bob Key. Arm nav mode. I'll nav into Bob Key. I've got to get some trim onto that rudder. It's a little better. There, that's better. And we're on our way. Back above the cloud deck again, and airborne and going. Alright. That seemed like a really quick turn. I don't think that was even 25 minutes on the ground. I'll have to measure it out on the video eventually, but it seemed like a very quick turn. Alright, there's 5,000. We're going to go ahead and pitch down to 6 degrees nose up. And then call for the after takeoff checklist, which involves mostly just turning off a whole bunch of stuff. And we will chime the FAs. They can get up and go do some service. And we've overdone it a little bit there on the rudder. Alright, we're trying to climb at a high speed because we're climbing into the headwind anyways, so we might as well try to get to Toronto quickly. No sense of being in the headwind up high for a very long time. So, let's do the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up, flaps are 0. Climb power is set. Bleed air is norm and on. Auto feather is off. Tank ox pumps are off. Hide pumps norm. Engine temps and pressures, everything is green. Ice protection, it's right now standard, plus the windshield. And cabin press and temp controls. Looks like we got differential is building. Cabin's climbing. Yep, looks good. And FA notification chime is complete. The after takeoff checklist is complete. There we go. We're climbing at 252 true already. We're going to keep that high speed climb into the headwind. We'll sacrifice the vertical speed for the forward speed as much as possible. Whew, that was a lot of work to get that off the ground that quickly. But it'll be nice to get both of these legs knocked out at the same time, and maybe we'll have some ATC still when we get back to Toronto. I'm hoping. If any of you Toronto guys are listening, I'm hoping. Center's still there anyways. I don't know who else is down there. I can't see that far yet, but there's 10,000. Alright, lights off, pressurization again, 424 checks, and the seatbelts are going off. 10,000 foot checks complete. And how are we looking here on our perf page? 52 minutes, sorry, 1 hour and 22 minutes right now. We're going to go ahead and pitch it down and just keep climbing more with the keep climbing with the higher airspeed again. It's not much of a headwind, it's only 35-40 knots, but it's enough to make a difference to our ground speed, so. We'll climb at that higher speed today. There's Ottawa. By the time we pass the beam Ottawa, we should be calling Toronto if we haven't already called them. So, I think it's right near Kemvey. Maybe a little bit before Kemvey. Bob Key Melty, sorry, Torney, not Kemvey. I'm thinking of the route to the island. Wow, it's amazing the things that get locked in your brain over time. There we go. It's nice that at least Toronto was pretty, or Montreal was very clear there. Once you get over there, Ontario, there's this cloud deck going on. On our way. As we turn left a little bit, we'll lose a little bit of that headwind, hopefully. Oh, I'm already starting to feel a little tired here. Well, we're going now. Oh, there's ice detected. And the speed is good. Increase ref speed's on, and fast. And alright, the ice protection is all on. I didn't even see too much out there, but I guess we ran into some kind of an icy layer. Trying to keep that ground speed high. That's pretty much the 50 knots of headwind we're going to get anyways, so not going to be much more than that, I don't think. Alright, have a quick little look-see here at the flight plan, so just curious. Let's see here, Torney 454. So yeah, we'll wait about 10 minutes and we'll call Toronto back again. For such a simple flight, there's a surprisingly large number of waypoints on there. The second you throw the Toronto arrivals and departures in there, holy moly, are there ever waypoints. Well, it's only been 37 minutes since we shut down the engine in Montreal. And here we are, like, at least 6 or 7 minutes into this flight, so yeah, I feel like it was definitely like a 20-minute turn. We got that thing knocked out real quick. The tight visual approach and the intersection departure also helped. If you really wanted to be efficient in Montreal, you take 28 for departure. I didn't even consider that as a possibility because right now it's closed anyways. And it's something that's not going to be available for much longer anyways. Because probably in the long run, Montreal's going to close that runway permanently. It'll give them more room to expand the terminals, which the terminals are pretty crowded. They're not totally at their limit, but they're definitely getting up there. Alright. There's 18,000. Standard is set and cross-checked. And passing 181. Pretty darn close. I hope that midnight 51 arrival time does not stand. I think as we level off and get that power back up there. Alright, I notice my ice detector is gone, so we're going to go ahead and turn off the ice protection here. We'll leave it with standard plus props and windshield for now. We're going. Doesn't look like we got a whole lot of Toronto ATC left, but we got some center. So that's something. And yeah, the center hasn't been on for that long, so hopefully he'll stay on for a little while longer. I hope. Ooh, just tired. It is quite late. It's quite dark. A nice, gentle revving of the Dash 8 engines in your ears. It's enough to put almost any pilot to sleep. Where's the flight attendant with some coffee? Trouble is, if I have coffee now, when we get to Toronto, I will not be able to sleep. I definitely need to sleep. $4,000 feet to go. A little more speed on the nose, but SimBrief, I think, thinks this is the optimal altitude, so we'll keep going. Losing a little bit of ground speed as we go up here, but these last 4,000 feet, not the easiest to climb in the world. The Dash 8 is, for the most part, is a great airplane, but the engines do get a little weaker when you get up. Near sea level, though, just tons of power. Even if an engine fails, this airplane has plenty of power to do go-arounds, to climb out with an engine failed. As long as you don't have an overspeeding prop or something really dragging you down, this airplane has fantastic performance down in the lower levels. You get higher, it's not as good. It does tend to get anemic, but I mean, that's the way propellers work. The higher you get, the less efficient they become. That's why the jets really start to shine when you get above the 20s. There are a few notable exceptions, though. The one notable exception, at least, that I can think of right off the top of my head is the Conquest, which had a service ceiling of 35,000 feet, which for a turboprop is just phenomenal. And I won't say unheard of, but uncommon anyways. Getting there. Less than 3,000 feet to go. Not too many turboprops that go up to 35 pretty easily. Well, and 35 is not bad. I know a lot of turboprops are often topped at 30. In the age of RVSM, to get from 28 to 30, it's not really worth the jumping through all the hoops for RVSM certification, having the manuals written, you know, altimeters pedostatic system certified. Not worth it. Usually for 2,000 feet, the fuel you would save from going from 28 to 30, rarely worth the extra cost. Really not worth the extra cost. If you can get 5,000 or 6,000 feet out of it, great. But if you can only get 2,000 feet out of it for all the price of RVSM, not worth the cost of admission. That's why I think you'll find very few turboprops that are RVSM certified. There are some conquests that are, because it's worth it. If you can go from 28 all the way to 35,000 feet, 7,000 additional feet, you get much, much higher fuel efficiency. The difference is quite astounding when you get up that high. But if it was limited to 30, from 28 to 30, it just wouldn't be worth it. 15 minutes to tourney at our present rate of speed. Hopefully we'll close that gap here momentarily. 1,500 feet to go. True airspeed is still doing pretty well, 290, but higher wind now. That's 23, climbing 24. There's electrical. Fuel, nope. Fuel didn't work. Fuel. Backup engine gauges. And back to the nav page. Why has this guy not got any magenta line there? For some reason his did not sequence. You know what we didn't do? We didn't cross-fill anything to this guy. Poor guy. Didn't get anything. Cross-fill flight plan. Cross-fill fuel. But now we're going to have to also from Melty to Torney. There you go. Now buddy's got something to look at. There's Alt Star. Let's pick up that pace a little bit now. And you can do it. Come on, you can do it. There's Alt. There we go. 300 knots now. Hopefully we can get at least 340 out of this. Slice hopefully at least 10 minutes off this arrival time here as we go. Such a cloudy time of year. You never get to see much anymore. Ottawa's down there somewhere. But the overcast skies, I ain't gonna see it. There's 310. 310 true. Just getting us a ground speed of 240. It's not bad, not bad. It's getting there. Feel like we're gonna have time and cruise to chat today. do anything better than 320, we can do 330, right? Come on, plane, you can do it. Come on, plane, you can do it. Everybody lean forward. See if we can get this plane to go a little faster. She really does not want to accelerate. It's getting there. Alright. I'm just getting impatient here. We can get to 330, right? So there's the Ottawa VOR, there's the Ottawa airport. We're going to pretty much go almost directly over it at 24,000 feet. There's 329. Alright, at 330 we're going to go into the cruise check. Alright, there's true airspeed of 330 at least. We should be able to go faster than that, but it's something anyways. Alright, cruise check. I can find it here. Altimeters, we got 2992, 123 set. Power is set. Fuel is checked. We got a lot when we get Toronto 3400. I think it's at least 600 or 700 extra. Seatbelts are off. Lights are all as required. I really can't tell unless I turn the dome light on. Alright, seatbelts are off. The lights are all as required. Cabin press checks for 240. We're looking at 7,500, which we got a little over 7,000. It's pretty good. Ice protection is standard, plus the props and windshield, and the 24-hour ice test was complete. Cruise check is complete. There we go. Now we're doing 340 true. We're getting there. We're doing a little better. If we can center that rudder, we might even get just a tiny bit more speed out of this thing here. Less drag means better performance. Alright. I think we're doing pretty well there. Grounding 270. We sliced about 10 minutes off our arrival time. It's not totally unreasonable. Alright, let's dial up Toronto Center. He's still hanging out. Surprisingly, we still have the frequency on there. Toronto Center, good evening. Encore 3513. Okay, 0553 in the box. We're level 240, Encore 3513. He's really quiet.
3513, you are identified. Information, Oscar, final runway 06.
Okay, we'll pick up Oscar when we get a moment, and plan 06 left, Encore 3513. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's I don't think it's quiet. I think it's weak because of our distance from the receiver. Because I notice it's also quite staticky, so I'm thinking that as we get closer in, his voice is going to get stronger. Which is just one more neat and realistic aspect of that whole audio for VATSIM system. It really is a well-done system. Alright, we'll cruise along with the dome light on for a little bit just because it makes it easier for me to look at the systems. Also, hopefully it'll help me stay awake for a little bit longer. Doing 350 true. We're not doing too bad. 278 over the ground, though. Still looking at a good 41 minutes in the air. We are going to start the arrival for Toronto pretty soon here, though. At 20, it's going to start. A slight left turn. Information Oscar. Let's see if I can see the ATIS yet. I can see the ATIS, so let's go ahead and have a look at the ATIS here in the vPilot window. Information Oscar, weather at 400 Zulu. That's about to expire shortly anyways. Winds 110, 50 miles fizz, 5,500 scattered, 11,000 broken, 7, 2.2. Still warm out there. Temperature 7, not bad for November, that's for sure. Altimeter 2996 in Toronto. There we go, setting the back up. Approach ILS runway 5 and 6 left. Departures 5 and 6 left. 5 ACF information Oscar. which is pretty much kind of what we planned on. I think that's what we put in the FMS to begin with, was 06 left, so we'll just carry on with that plan. We'll wait. We'll wait. Oh, getting tired. We'll wait about 5 minutes here, and then we'll go ahead and start setting up some information here. I honestly don't know what the VNAV waypoints are on here. I think there's a restriction to ragged we're going to have to look after here in a little bit. The nice thing is that as we continue down this arrival at Torney, we're still going to make another turn to the left, another 10 degrees or so. Every little bit out of the wind will help us here. Maybe get us another, just even 5 knots would be nice. No problem, we're going to have plenty of fuel. But just looking at that estimated time en route and knowing that I'm a little bit tired already here. Got a long way to go. I think I might step out of the flight deck just for 2-3 minutes here. Just go get myself a drink. Something to just help me stay a little bit awake. So I'll be back in about 2 to 3 minutes here.
WestJet 3600, are you ready for departure?
Ready for departure, runway 05.
WestJet 3600, roger. Maintain runway heading on departure and call me when airborne. Wind 0, correction, wind 100 and 10 cleared for takeoff, runway 05.
Runway heading, runway 05.
WestJet 3600, altimeter 299er68, passing altitude. WestJet 3600, confirm passing altitude.
Passing through 4,000 feet, WestJet 3600.
WestJet 3600, I see at 4,800 now.
Roger, 4,800. Passing.
WestJet 3600, roger, you are identified, turn right, direct, mobile on course, climb level 270.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you for letting me have a little break there. I have been sitting in the flight deck for 2.5 hours now with no break, and not even a flight attendant bring me coffee. How could you fly without coffee?
Turn right, mobile on course, WestJet.
If this was a real flight, I would definitely be drinking coffee. However, because I plan to go to bed as soon as we land in Toronto, I don't even have to make my way to a hotel. I have to walk up 2 flights of stairs, and I'm in bed.
Toronto Center, good evening, Jazz 8045.
So, yeah, and, no coffee for me right now.
Ottawa.
In just a little over an hour, I will be crawling into bed, so. But in the meantime, we're going to get this, we're going to keep this flight going here. I'm going to start planning the descent and the arrival in Toronto because it's going to come up pretty quickly here, and then we'll take a look at the status of my pilot's life here. Alright, so, first things first, let's do speeds. Oh, sorry about that. A little jump there as I turn the track IR back on. Okay, speeds for Toronto. So, we're looking at Toronto, we're looking at about 58,000 pounds, plus 500 is 58.5. So we expect to land at 58.5. I'm going to use 59,000 pound numbers. That'll hopefully keep us nice and safe there.
Toronto Center, Jazz 8045.
So 59,000 pounds. Let's see here. Alright, I'm just going to turn these things off because they've been driving me nuts. I'm going to watch them and they're driving me nuts. Alright, we're going to be doing a flap 15 landing in Toronto because it's a very long runway. And there's no sense in getting off quickly, so we're looking at speeds of 123 and 113.
Toronto Center, Jazz 8045. How do you hear?
123, 113. And fry and climb for flap 15 are 26 and 50, which are probably almost what we got in the back here. A little bit lighter than what we used last time, 26 and 50. There we go. 26 and 50, but still almost the same as what we used last time. Alright, so those speeds are in. The distance, the runway in Toronto is 9,000 feet long, so that's very sufficient for us. Alright, so our arrival today is going to be the UDNOX 5 arrival. Let's just pull out the plates here. Alright, I can trash all these
Toronto Center, Jazz 8045. How do you read?
Montreal plates here. And I just wonder, I'm just going to look at my other screen here for a second because I didn't see too many people within his airspace, so I have a feeling like he might be just too low to be within radio reception range, because radio reception range is a real deal now, and it's people don't realize it. I think sometimes they used to be like, oh, as long as I see this person online and turn the frequency, I can talk to them. But if you're not high enough, you're not close enough, you won't be able to transmit and have your signal reach the receivers. So it's something that we're not used to dealing with the VATSIM network. It's something that we are going to have to get used to dealing with.
8045, radio check.
Let me just help him out here. Jazz 8045, it's Encore 3513. I read you 5x5. I just had a quick look at your position there. I just wonder if you might be out of radio range of Toronto there.
Center, Jazz 8045. We hear you 5x5 now.
Jazz 8045, that's not center, it's just Encore 3513. We hear you 5x5 on the frequency, but I wonder if you had a range of the Toronto receivers.
Yeah, we didn't hear him on his main frequency. He's given us a different frequency to try.
Okay, fair enough. Just wanted to make sure you at least weren't worrying about the speakers and the mic not working.
Roger, thanks.
Number 3513, are you able to let know the Jazz 8045 try to call back on 124.67, please?
You said 124.67?
124.67, 800.
And Jazz 8045, it's Encore 3513 relaying for Toronto. He'd like you up on 124.67 if you're still here.
Jazz 8047, Toronto Center, region 5x5.
Alright, there we go.
8047, the Ottawa altimeter 3004, say passing altitude squawk 0550.
There we go. Real world problems that are coming to VATSIM these days. It's kind of fun, actually. Okay, we were going to look at the charts. We were trying to get ourselves sorted here. Okay, so we need Toronto charts. Load them up, please. Thank you. Alright, so first of all, we're on the UDNOX 5 arrival coming around for 06 left. Pin that one. And then we're going to be doing the ILS to runway 06 left. Pin that one. Then we're going to need to taxi in from 06 left. And not a problem anytime. There we go. That's the one we're looking for, right? There's the airport diagram. Okay, perfect. And we're also going to want the parking spots as well. And then I think we got everything. Okay, so starting with the UDNOX 5 arrival. We're on our way to Libum already. Except actually. Except UDNOX, Ragged, Lirat. UDNOX, let's do it this way here. If I can pull this up, then we can probably continue looking at this. UDNOX, Ragged, Lirat between 10 and 8. I'm going to try to cross it at 10 because that's going to work better for me anyways. Then 70, then Reese's, then Verco at 8 at 210 knots. So let's do this. Let's change this to 10,000 because that's the top of the window and we're going to have to be 8,000 at Reese's anyways. So, and then Verco Darbudanip, Massar Liran, continue on the present heading. Alright, so that's all in there. The vector is for the ILS to runway 06 left. IJS 1091 and 057 is what we're looking for, so let's set the radios here. 1091 and 1091.
Canada 7075 Toronto Center, good evening.
Okay, so 1091 is set there. I feel like now I'm sitting way too high here. And 057 the inbound course. So again, the FO is not flying. I can set his really easily. Landing around the other way, so we gotta switch that right the way around. There we go, 057. And then for me, we're gonna do format button for 3 seconds. And flip me right around to the reciprocal of 057. There we go. Back to FMS mode. Perfect. Okay. The ILSDA on, let's see here, 24 right is going to be 735, so I'm going to have to set 740. And while I'm at it, we'll also make sure we got just about 500 dialed there on the landing altitude. Okay, and last but not least, let's just put in the VNAV profile here. So to take us down to Ragged.
Jazz 8045 after Novux descend 3.
Wait a second, what's the restriction? Was it not a UDNOX? What was the restriction? hold on. I've lost it here. The restriction is 10,000 at LERAT. There we go. 10,000 at LERAT at 1,800 feet per minute. 9 minutes till we start down. Alright, we're already getting there. It's amazing how that time goes by. Love it. Alright, back to the approach plate. We'll finish this briefing up really quick here. We're kind of programming and briefing at the same time here. Alright, ILS 6 left, 11-2, 1091057. I can see here in the corner that 109 is set, and I've set both 057's glide slope at VEPNA 2010, and the ILSDA is 735. I got 740 set on the left and on the right. Touchdown zone at 535. I've set that with the LFE. The MSA 3,100 feet is the highest one around Toronto. Missed approach is climbed 1,100 feet on a heading of 057, then climbing right turn to 3,100 feet on a heading of 132 and intercept the 102 radial outbound to 2 dog. Now let's just make sure that this is all in here. So to the approach, ILS fail, VEPNA 2010, that's all there. And then the go around, 1,100 feet, intercept heading 132, climbing to 3,100 feet, and course of 102 to 2 dog. That's all there. It looks good. Stop that from flashing because I know it's supposed to be there. And that's about it. Notes, radar is required, safe altitude, 100 miles 49, simultaneous approach is authorized, look reliable with the 10 degree centerline, procedure turns are not authorized. All the normal notes in Toronto. 3 degree glide slope, Happy's left ALS 2 lighting system, 2,600 RVR or a half mile. It's supposed to be a pretty VFR day as well. It's looking pretty good. So that's all I've got for that. Terrain, again, 3,100 is the highest MSA because of the CN Tower. Weather is, there's a solid cloud layer, but it's VMC beneath. Operational. Didn't see any NOTAMs affecting the arrival. And no defects on the airplane. Fuel, we need, again, about 2,800 to go off to our alternate of London. We're showing 37, so we got 900 pounds extra. So we're looking pretty good here.
Jazz 8045, the aircraft trying to call, how do you read him? I'm hearing you, line 5. How do you read me? Okay, 3513, the aircraft trying to call, I think he's on 12577, how do you read him?
And Encore 3513, we hear the aircraft calling 5x5 on 2577.
Encore 3513, roger, can you please tell him to contact me on 124.67?
Okay, aircraft call in Toronto Center unanswered. Call Toronto Center on 124.67. If anyone's calling Toronto Center unanswered, call Toronto Center now on 124.67. You should get him in range there.
Okay, 3513, looks like you disconnected. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we tried. Alright, so I think we're all set up for arrival into Toronto. So we'll just have a quick little look here at my pilot's life here. Look at this. This flight's actually progressing even faster than I thought it was here. It was nice to step away just out of the flight deck for 5 minutes even just to get a drink. Less than 100 miles to go. But let's go back to our dashboard and also check out how things are doing for us here. So we're slowly getting experience points. 17.49 experience points. 11.81 hours. We did 4 different airports. Keep going to the same airports over and over again in this. 7 flights. And let's just see our logbook here as well and see how that landing went there. 3518, yeah, we had the less than 50, 2.21 experience points. I really don't know too much about how the experience points are calculated. I think it has to do with your landing rate. I think the different landing rates do different categories, and I'm not sure if it's time contributes to it otherwise.
Air Canada 512, confirm your altitude.
I can't, I'm not sure what the formula is really for determining experience points, but I'm getting there. I got almost 20 experience points. I need 50 to get promoted from junior first officer just to first officer. So we'll probably have to finish another. whole flight schedule here, another 10 flights or so before I really get up there. This is not going to be a fast progression here, but it's kind of fun though. It's kind of neat to have these missions and know that I have to do these missions. Know that I have to fly these flights. Does it actually have the time logged here? It doesn't actually log the time, does it? Or does it? Yeah, I guess this is... Yeah, I guess this has been logged. This is the actual times log, but it doesn't even total it up, which actually I'm surprised. That is something that the developer should consider doing here. Is here, you know, or even here, there should be a flight hours, like how many hours was each flight. I'm surprised that that's not actually there. I didn't even notice that wasn't there before. Because I did these 2 flights. Actually, this Myrtle Beach flight was on my last paycheck. This Myrtle Beach flight will be on this paycheck, so this will be about 3 hours, 4, 5, 6, probably about 6 hours of pay again. I've got it here, my total flight hours, but it'd be nice to see how much each one contributed. So I'm going to probably double my pay, my bank account balance on my next paycheck, hopefully. And then I can probably start to afford some things. So I could either try to get some money bonuses. However, they don't start till I have at least $2,000 in the bank. Or I could try to buy some tools that'll help me with the experience points bonus, which that might actually be useful. I can even get a flight bag. That'll be an extra 5% experience points on each flight. It's not a whole lot per se, but it'll move me up the ranks quicker, and I'll be able to get a better paying job, get a better salary. Already people are offering me bigger salaries than I'm getting paid right now. Alitalia Cityliner. Not really too interested in working for any of these companies yet, so none of them have really struck my fancy. But I'm also curious now. Alitalia Cityliner. Just show me the details. So based in Rome. And Embraer 170s and 190s. I do have those actually on my computer. Canadair regional jet CRJs. So, and then it covers a whole bunch of different places here. Rome, Athens. So from Rome they go to Athens. They go to all sorts of places here within 1 or 2 hours of Rome. Lots of places in Europe that I'm familiar with: London, Brussels, Cologne, Frankfurt, Munich, Zurich, Lyon, no, not Lyon, Geneva, that's where they're going to. Toulouse, Marseille, you know, that's actually not a bad place to work. I have the 170, but I don't have a lot of scenery in this area, neck of the woods, so I'd rather try and stick to some places where I have some scenery, but it might be worth trying out later. Not going to do that right now. Going to carry on my current flight. How are we doing here? Oh, ice detected. Well, then we better get that going there. Toronto Center, Encore 3513, request descent. Coming up that.
13, altimeter 2996, one ready to descend 12, 12,000.
At our discretion, descend 12,000 on 2996, Encore 3513, thanks. Alright, so 12,000 feet is set, alt cell, the VNAV is now armed. I have to watch that top of descent quickly because as we start to go down, she's going to want to accelerate pretty quick. We're going to have to get the power off pretty quickly. Once we see that VNAV start to come in there. Top of descent alert. Still not much to look at outside. This is why I'm spending all my time staring at the inside, because there's really nothing to look at out there. Except for my own wingtip out there.
Jazz 8045, wind calm, cleared to land runway 07.
Cleared to land runway 07, Jazz 8045.
Back off the power a tiny bit already, because she's going to pitch over. She's going to pitch over pretty aggressively here, I think. Always go to the VNAV page to see exactly how it's going to work. 2.6 miles. She's going to start down.
call.
Here comes the VNAV path.
Air Canada 512. Air Canada 512. On arrival runway 06 left.
06 left, thank you. Air Canada 512.
There's VNAV path. Alright. Looks like we're fairly stable in the descent there, so we can do the descent checklist. Descent checklist. Fuel was checked in the briefing. Approach line of briefing is complete. Cabin altitude controls are set for Toronto, and the cabin PA is complete. The descent check is complete. Alright. "25 minutes still to go. Don't get into that red line. This message that keeps flashing at me. Cleared above the altitude. We're only cleared to 12,000, so we can't set 10. No matter how much we want to. As long as it stays smooth. I'm really playing with fate here, riding that red line that tight. But as long as it stays smooth, we're okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get the dome light off as well. Switch back to night mode here. Just makes it easier to see some of the switches in this flight deck. If you can't feel them, if you're just clicking on them with a mouse, you kind of need some level of light to see what you're doing. Alright, and the ice protection is still on, but it doesn't need to be because the ice detect message went away. So go ahead and take that off.
Welcome to Ottawa, exit left.
There's the ice detector again, so I guess we're just going to leave this on for the time being at least.
Jazz 8045, roger. Taxi left on Bravo and apron is at our discretion. Navigating.
Okay, left.
Frederick needs a little bit of help. We're going to have to give it a little bit more margin now below the red line as it's getting bumpy here. So we're getting down to this cloud deck. Alright, it's pretty close. Transition set 2996. 2996 inches is set and cross checked and passing 18.1. Pretty darn close anyways. Prop heat on as well, right? Yeah, everything's on, so we're good for descending into this cloud deck, because it's probably minus 18 out there. Cold out there. Not bad though, 7 degrees on the surface in Toronto in what is the last week of November. That's pretty good.
4 by 5. Paper, thank you.
See what waypoints we got here. That's Oshawa right there. That's probably Green Bank. We just on the right there. So we're going to pass right over Oshawa. We're just not going to see any of it. This is the frustrating thing. Even daytime it looks a little better. Nighttime it's literally some black, some white stars, and some gray clouds. At least there's pretty colors inside the airplane for us to look at.
American 221, just gonna check in with you for a short while. We're at flight level 396, trying to climb up to 400.
American 221 Toronto Center, good evening, squawk 0577.
0577,
definitely sounds like he's coming in a lot stronger as we got closer here. So at the east end of the sector, it was very hard to hear him on this frequency. But as we've moved closer to the center of the sector here in Toronto, definitely the radio reception for us has gotten stronger. Really kind of noticeable over time.
Welcome aboard, climb flight level 400.
Climb to flight level 400. Thank you very much, American 221.
Aqua 3513, information Papa, altimeter 29994.
Okay, we'll pick up Papa 29994, Encore 3513. Alright, information is now Papa. Again, back to the other screen here really quick. Papa, weather 500, winds 110 at 8, gusting 17. Ooh, it's getting gusty out there. 15 miles visibility, 5,500 overcast, still temperature 72.2. Now 29994, still 5 and 6 left. And Encore 3513 has Papa.
Encore 3513, roger.
13 ascending 12. Star. One thing I actually don't have yet is an arrival gate in Toronto. Is there a speed restriction at Lerat? Nope, the only speed restriction is at Reese's. 210 8000, okay. Just making sure. Keep the speed up then. Let's get there. Now the one thing I'm going to do is just switch to the other computer again really quick and just do a gate check. See if I can find the gate for this flight. And the gate, Alpha 5 if we have it. I'm not even sure if we have Alpha 5 or not, but we're going to try. Alright, let's see here. Alright, we're going to start doing this down soon if we're going to make that restriction up ahead.
Encore 3513, descend 8000.
Descend 8000, Encore 3513. Alright. The guy must be psychic. Alright, VS minus 1200, I guess we're in the soup now. Ice is still being detected. To bring it back pretty much to idle here, I think. Started losing that speed for the 250 here. Now we gotta be 210 at Reese's. Alright. Coming up on 10 pretty quick here, so get some lights on, 10,000. Alright, something in the middle somewhere. Approach checklist. Approach checklist. Altimeters, we got again 2994, 1, 2, and 3 set. And nav aids are Not applicable if we break out of 5500. We'll say not applicable for now. Fuel transfer is off, and I didn't do the flow. Tank ox pumps are on. GBW landing flap 15 selected. Hide quantity. Checks. Caution and warning lights. Check. Seatbelts are on, lights are on, and cabin secure will complete approach checklist.
Air Canada 512, altimeter 2964, one ready to send 12, 12,000, one ready.
Constantly trying to center this rudder trim here.
Ready for descent, Air Canada 512.
Air Canada 512, altimeter 2994, one ready to send 12, 12,000, one ready.
I like how it repeats the one ready part. Oh, there we go. Looking outside.
Air Canada 512.
Very nice. I think we're over Scarborough. I think that's the Don Valley Parkway there. That looks like it. That's downtown Toronto over there. Yep. No, that's exactly it. Good stuff. And that's 9 descending 8,000. Let's see if we can pick a gate here that works for us. Toronto Pearson. Alpha 5, if it'll let me. Yes, nice. Cool, Alt Star. Leave the power back and let it decelerate to 210 knots. Boy, she's bumpy out there. Smooth when we left, and now look at her. She's gusty like crazy. But, however, the ceiling I think is a little higher now. See the airport clearly over there in the distance. Alt. Alright, slow in. 210 at Reese's. Reese's. However you want to say it, Reese's.
Roger that. We'll switch over to Unicom. Have a good one, American 221.
There we go. Here's the 210. Nicely done. No sense in going any slower than that, though. Let's see if we can find a power setting that'll keep it there now. There, we're back in the soup again a little bit here. It's okay, we'll break out in plenty of time to see this airport. There we go. That's 210, give or take. Too much now. Gotta find a happy medium somewhere in the middle there. Tough when it's bouncing around this much. What's the temperature here? +2. Good. We should be able to get out of this ice very soon here. My inspection light is on. I don't see too much on there.
Encore 3513, descent 6,000.
Descend 6,000, Encore 3513. PS minus 1300, 6,000 beats that LSL. Alright, we're definitely not going to follow that VNAV profile because that VNAV profile is going to be a very gradual descent. We want want to get down and get turned on to final. That is 7, descending 6. Alt star.
Encore 3513, descend 3000.
Descend 3000 on core 3513. 3000 feet set alt cell VS minus 1300. $1,500. Pick up the pace even a little bit more. Doesn't look like there's too much traffic out here tonight, so the sooner we get down, the sooner we hit the turn. Yes, minus 1,700.
Air Canada 7075, information now Papa, runway 06
VS
left,
1900.
2994, taxi via Delta Romeo, and Delta cross runway 33 right, hold short of runway 06 left.
Alright, we stop Papa 2994, Delta Romeo, Delta cross 33 right, call holding short 6 left, turn down at 7075.
4 descending 3.
3513, turn right heading 330.
Right turn heading 330, Encore 3513. Alright, there's heading 330. And we're going to go ahead and do from Olympi. From Olympi. Put it on the FO side as well.
2,500.
Oops, I accidentally switched that into climb for a second there. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and kill the ice protection. We're below the cloud deck. There we go. Grease thrust switch is off, looking good. We can even turn off the props there. We'll go ahead and put the nav source on ILS-1 and ILS-2. 12 miles final, we're doing okay here.
Number 3513, turn right heading 030 to intercept, cleared for the ILS approach, runway 06 left.
Right turn 030 for the intercept, cleared the ILS-06 left, Encore 3513, thank you. Alright, so 030 on the heading, Loke's alive, Loke and glide slope are armed, and Loke is now active.
512, Roger, let me know when you're
Heading is set to 057. Alright.
Sir, 7075, looks like you made a wrong turn. Can we take Delta Quebec to Delta?
Canada 7075, that is approved.
Alright, glide slope's alive. Let's go hide pumps on. Let's go flap 5. And the FA notification. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing. Alright, and now the slideshow will begin as my frame rate begins to die. As we turn final in Toronto. Wasn't too bad going the other way, but it's about to die. There's glide slope. Go around altitude of 3100 set. Let's see if we can find a power setting that'll keep us moving around 190. And the glide slope, that'll work well for now. Disregard with approach altitude set. That's looking pretty good. The runway's in sight. Alright, let's go ahead, gear down. Three green.
Air Canada 512, we are back. Canada 512, roger. Number 3513, wind 110 at
Flap
8, gusting
10.
17, clear to land runway 06 left.
Clear to land 06 left, thank you, Encore 3513. Alright, taxi lights on, flap 15. With a gusty wind like that, we're going to bring the condition levers up to max. For some reason this takeoff pump wasn't on. Just noticed that there. And we'll call for the landing check. So the landing check. Stand by, head press P2 controller on, landing gears down through green, flap is 15 set and indicating, and the condition levers are max. Ice protection is standard, plus the windshield. Bleed air 1 and 2 is mid and on, and the FA notification is PA landing checklist is complete. Actually, why did I close that? Because I really want it still. Let's get that speed back to the ref speed. Almost there. Alright. Glide slope star. Falling a little low on the approach. Just get some power in there. Just to help level it off. Glide slope.
500.
Stable.
7 Delta, Delta.
Disengage in the autopilot. I press this button twice to try and cancel the alarm. What is going on with this approach here? What is going on here?
Sync rate. Sync rate.
What is going on here? Okay, this is not good.
100.
Go around. I don't understand what is going on with this autopilot here. Yeah, I get that. Positive brake gear up. I don't know why it drifted so far to that side so quickly. There's some asymmetric thrust, or what's going on here? Because I have got full rudder deflection and I can't even keep this thing barely straight here.
512,
Alright, flaps 0. And climb power.
513, state intention.
Encore 3513, like to request a vector back for the next approach.
3513, roger, turn right heading 240, 53 down.
Right turn 240, say again the altitude.
3000 over 3513.
Right turn 240 and 3000 Encore 3513. I don't know what happened there. I really don't. It was going kind of well, and then it just started drifting. It's like the aircraft was not even reacting to what we were doing.
Here it is, 7075, minus 1 lane, runway 061. Delta Delta, right-hand side circuits, call me midfield downwind with intentions, wind 070, what?
It looks like we might have had a rudder trim runaway there. Uh-huh. That would be what just happened here, I think. Why can I not find the stupid dome light switch? There it is. Nope. We didn't have a runaway. We just simply switched. Somehow it got stuck there and went all the way to one side. Darn it. Okay. And we climbed right through.
Delta Delta, it's right-hand side circuits and call me midfield downwind.
That was a horrible go around, and now we're still climbing. Because we forgot to hit.
3513, confirm you were turning right heading 240 and descend 5,000.
We'll descend 5,000, sorry about that, in the right turn 240, Encore 3513.
Roger.
Yeah, that's what happens when you only have one pilot trying to do everything all at once. You can only do so many things at one time. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Couldn't figure out why. We had a flight control issue, and short final is not the place to diagnose it, unfortunately. And it's this stupid rudder trim in this stupid airplane. Alright. So let's do this. Let's get this sorted out again here. Cut that down to 5,000. Let's get this set up again here. So we need 22. Alright, I was really looking forward to landing and calling this a day, but looks like we had a rudder trim runaway on final there. Okay, and so we'll have to do a quick immediate return check. So fuel transfer is off, auto feather is off, speed bugs and MDA are still the same. Nav aids are not applicable. Taxi light is going
3513,
off.
descend, okay, 3513, disregard.
Okay, disregarding. And GPW's landing flap 15 selected. Also, we're going to bring the props back to 850 for now. We'll bring them up to max for landing. Okay, now that we've got this all squared away again here, I can't believe we had a rudder trim runaway on final. That's why we couldn't control the airplane. Should have probably done the go around a little bit sooner. Oh, it would be nice to have an FO sometimes. Make life a lot easier. Guess we're probably going to be following this guy in here. It's alright.
3513, descend 3000.
Descend 3,000, Encore 3513.
Air Canada 512, are there any speed restrictions under 10,000?
Air Canada 512, below...
BS minus 1500.
50 knots, below 10,000.
Roger.
Alright, so we're just going to leave it in ILS mode since we're
7075, still holding, or sorry, lining
just
up
on the
with
vector spec.
Canada 7075, sorry about that, maintain runway heading on departure, call me when airborne, wind 110 at 8, gusting 17.
That was a horrible go around, and then I didn't even realize what mode we were in because I was trying to fly the plane and diagnose the problem at the same time, and it just doesn't work when you try to do that, unfortunately. 4,000 descending 3,000. Alt star. Try this again. Gonna try to avoid excess rudder trim adjustments on final now. Alt. Passing underneath somebody. Right turn 330 on car 3513, thanks.
Traffic.
Descend. Crossing. Descend.
Now we gotta do that, huh?
2500. Clear of conflict.
Terrain. Caution. Terrain.
And Toronto Encore 3513, TCAS RA, we're climbing back to 3000 again. I don't know who that guy is or why he's only 600-700 feet above us. That's not a good place for him to be. Alright. Let's go. High pumps on. Flap 5. And the FA notification. Cabin crew, please super landing.
Climb final 360.
Climb 360 left turn, direct taxi on course, Air Canada 7035.
Conquer 3513, turn right, heading 030 to intercept, cleared for the islands approach, runway 06 left.
Right turn 030 for the intercept, clear the ILS 06 left, Encore 3513.
7 Delta Delta, state intention.
Alright, Loke, glide slope armed, Loke's alive.
Would you like a stop
Loke.
and go or a full stop?
Alright, let's see if we can get it this time. Alright. Oh my gosh, and then we're overspeeding the flaps again. Wait, this is gonna... This is what happens when you fly when you're tired.
Wind 070 at 14, cleared, stop and go, runway 08.
Alright, glide slope is alive.
Canada 512, descend 3000.
Should have been at the gate already.
Descend 3000, Air Canada 512.
Sorry, the stream is getting kind of boring now. I am getting quite tired here. It's quite late. Really wish we'd landed on that first approach. Going around was the right decision, though. Go around, diagnose the problem, come back and try it again.
Canada 512, turn right, heading 330.
Unfortunately, there's glide slope.
Turn right, heading
Go around, altitude is set. Unfortunately, it was a very poorly flown go around, mostly because I had issues controlling the aircraft to begin with. Alright, disregard that. The Mr. Approach altitude is set. Airport's in sight. Hopefully this time we'll do okay. Alright, let's go gear down. Three green, flap 10. flap 15.
Runway 3513, wind 110 at 8, gusting 17, clear to land runway 06 left.
Cleared to land 06 left, Encore 3513.
American 512, turn right, heading 030.
Alright, condition leavers
Winter
max.
cleared for the ILS approach, runway 06 left.
And the landing checklist, so there goes FEPNet 2010, go around altitude is set, and the landing checklist, standby head press PT controller on, landing gears down, 3 green, flap is 15 set and indicated, and condition levers are max, ice protection is standard, bleed air is min and on, FA notification PA, landing checklist is complete. Checked. Try and get this nice and stable here. We'd like to carry about 5 knots extra just because of the gusts. Nothing too crazy, but something. Notice how I watched the trim that time to make sure it didn't go anywhere on me. Alright, this is looking a little better this time. Trim runaway, honestly. Of all the silly things. Alright, there's 500. Disengaging the autopilot. 600, I guess.
500.
Checked.
Delta, Delta, Roger, we'll call you on the downwind for your landing clearance.
The autopilot was not trimming this thing here. Wow, that was kind of a horrible touchdown as my frame rate went to like 0. And my... oh, I am tired too. This is not going to be a pretty video. And this is why people should be well rested to do this job. Okay, left turn on Charlie 1 for Encore 3513. Heading to Alpha 5, please, Encore 3513. Alpha Tango, apron our discretion, Encore 3513. Thank you very much for the good service. Alright, we're just going to taxi very slowly. Take some lights off. Alright, the after landing flow. Control log, if I can get it. There we go. Cox pumps. Not too bad, we're mostly on the center line still. Alright, after landing checklist is radars off, transponders staying on alt, and flaps are Right flaps are 0, control locks on, tank ox pumps are off, yaw dampers off, flight taxis taxi, anti-collision is red, all lights are as required. Light sections all off except for the windshield heat, main bus ties tied, and the APU staying off. After landing, checklist is complete. Woo! Yeah. Rudder trim runaway on short final. That is a bad one. But I'm happy to say we survived it. We made the right decision to go around. It was a terrible go around. Go-arounds are tough in this airplane, even on the best days. Even with 2 well-trained crew members, they work. But they're still an unusual situation. And they're a little bit tough. Go-around single pilot? Oh my god. That was just too much. And it didn't help that I am just at the end of my rope in terms of ability to think right now. Maybe this flight back from Montreal was not such a good idea this evening. Good to get it out of the way, though. I'm glad it's done, but boy. It's not even that long a flight, but you put 2 flights back to back like that, even with a quick turn, it's a long shift in this airplane. And at the end of a day, of a long day of not working for the airline, it made this very busy. I just was not even able to figure out what was going on there with the flight control issue there. It wasn't until we had a little bit of altitude, had the autopilot on, and had a moment to collect our breath that we were able to figure out what was going on there. Got to be ready for anything in this business. Day or night, first leg, last landing of the night. Still got to be ready for anything. Pretty sure I see the ramp guys over there on the left. Alright, so we're going to say marshaller's in sight, taxi light's off, and dome light is on. I'm a-coming. I just gotta get it out of disk there. Very tired. My judgment is going to nil right now. Alright, and park brakes on, you can do those two. You also have to do those off. And then you can start the timer. Have to start data. GPU request. And seatbelts off. And then shut down checklist. Alright, so shut down checklist. Taxi light is off. Transponder is going to stand by, if I can do it. Come on. There it is, standby. Emergency brake is on. Standby high press PT controller norm. Power levers are disc. Condition levers are start. Feather. Nose steering is off. Seatbelts are off. And the external power APU which is going to be on system page. That's on. Condition lever is 30 seconds, so it's about 45. Fuel off. Lights are all as required. Turn that one off. Standby aux and main batteries. Off. Battery master off. And emergency brake staying on. That's it. We're done. Oh my god. Oh, that go around was brutal. For so many reasons. One, there was controllability issues. And all of it basically contributed to by the fact that I was just reaching the end of my abilities then. I feel like it's not gonna work. Sometimes it connects to SOD, sometimes it doesn't. It's fine. Then we can request deboarding. And we're done. Whew, that was an experience. This is why you don't fly when you're tired. Even that was a horrible touchdown. Still says less than 50 feet per minute. I don't know if I believe that at all. Says it anyways. But there's my dashboard. A few more experience points. For 20 experience points, 13.64 hours. We're going to probably double our bank count by the time we get to the next paycheck. Oh, that was an epic live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. That was, like I said, that was epic. That was way more than I intended to do. I intended to do the one leg, and then I just got enthusiastic. I was having so much fun. I said, let's do the leg back. Ugh, I should know better than to do that. I should know better than to say silly things like, hey, let's just do the leg back. Anyways. Here we are, almost back where we started, Toronto. Back at Terminal 3, my Encore Dash 8. Two more legs. 2 more legs under my belt. I've got 2 more legs left in my schedule here. I've got to do a Boston turn, and then the first month of my schedule, I guess if you want to consider this a month, is over and done with, and then we'll have to generate another schedule. It'll be fun. Can't even print the schedule. I wonder how that looks. I may try that another day. I'm not trying anything else tonight. Guys, I'm super tired. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed that adventure. I will be the first to admit that go-around was pretty horrendous. Trying to do too many things at once. And trying to control the airplane that was somewhat uncontrollable until I figured out what the problem was. Made it very challenging. So it was really not well done. Not my best work by any means. But I hope you guys will learn something about that too. The value of a good first officer. And the first priority at anything is to fly the airplane. Make sure you know where it's going, what it's doing. Make sure you hit the Alt-Cell button. If you're a Dash 8 pilot, hit that Alt-Cell button. It's the stupidest little button in the world. But if you forget to hit it, you're just going to keep right on climbing. I went right through 3,000. I went through 4,000. I went up to 5,500 before I realized it and came back down. So, yeah. Guys, if you're flying the Dash 8, don't forget that stupid Alt-Cell button. Thanks a lot for watching this evening. I hope you had a lot of fun. We'll definitely try and do another one with some VATSIM traffic, some VATSIM ATC another night. In the meantime, have a good night, and always fly safe, guys.